I think we're live. It says end stream, so.
I'm still waiting. Not that you can see the screen.
Hello, everybody. Can you see or hear us? I've just had a notification. My channel's live. Turn it up.
That's some sort of advert. Hang on. Skip ad. Turn the volume back.
There you go. We're live on Graham's and.
Yeah, we've got sound.
Fantastic.
Here in the studio. See, high tech. We're getting there, us old people in technology.
We've got some stuff for you tonight. I'll just check my channel that it's definitely there, and we should be on X as well, live. Yeah, is that right?
Well, this is the first time we've tried this. We're going live on Fiona's channel and my channel at the same time, and I think it's going live on X as well. But there's no chat box. There's no chat on X, so they've got to catch up with YouTube as far as that's concerned. So
yeah,
I've got my phone here with all the chat on it.
Yeah, perfect.
And she's got sound on her
And
channel.
I need to check your X account so I can share a link because it's not live on my X. For the benefit of Megan's supporters who have assured me that they want to join in on this, one in particular, no names mentioned. Right, so I've got to find you on X. Do you want to say hello to
Michelle Pope, we're both looking gorgeous. Thanks very much, Michelle.
Hope you guys like my tiara. I'll get round to my stolen jewellery in a moment. Right, let's have a look. Graham.
I'm just getting over a cold. I've been laid up for the last few days.
You've got 2 accounts on X.
No, I've only got one.
Oh, is someone copying you?
No,
All right, there it is. I will retweet that,
it.
repost. Then it's on my channel as well. For the just in case,
Cool.
A lot of Sugars and Megan supporters, I don't know if they follow you or no.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a case of logging in because they sort of link everything these days and it's difficult.
Right, do you guys want what shocked me today first? Or should we drag it out and do that near the end? Let me know in the comments. Because even your jaw dropped actually at what we're going to show them tonight, didn't it?
Yes. I thought, how on earth is that even possible? Unless...
Or legal, actually. I would have thought it's fairly racist, but...
Fiona's got...
Tell us now, please. Now. Yes, okay.
Fiona's got loads of different things to show you.
Yeah.
She's figured a way of showing you on the split screen.
So tonight's going to be about the line of succession, and we will cover Birkenhead. I've got some of the images of the red and purple coat for people who don't understand where thoughts of Dell come from. Okay, and Birkenhead is a classic example of that. I've got my own theories. Right, well, I'll just show you this quickly before anything else.
Birkenhead's near Liverpool, for anyone who doesn't know. Other side of the river.
Right, share screen, and what I want is that one. Now this...
They can't see it. Oh yes, they can. Hang on. Yeah, it's there.
This here is a website by Instagram followers from Lesotho, which was the subject of my video the other day. Now I'll make it large so you can see the print clearly. Real followers from Lesotho, real people. You can buy followers, and I don't know if you guys can see, but here the Huffington Post appear to be affiliated, and Reuters. I don't know if these people really are affiliated. It's quite cheap, isn't it? 2,500 Instagram followers, 2 days delivery, real people with real accounts, active followers, safe for your Instagram account, 100% money back guarantee, 100% refill guarantee. Now, what's refill? It says, if some people unfollow your account, we will refill your followers for free for up to a year. So let's say we buy 2,500 followers. Now, this is the bit that really shocked me. There are options. By Instagram followers, wait for this. By Instagram followers, by female Instagram followers, by black Instagram followers. Why would it matter if your followers, what color they are, what their ethnicity is? Why? What's the purpose in that? And this is Lesotho. Remember the video I did the other day? Having done that video, now Google, and I think someone does watch my channel, they changed the stats, unless it's because a lot of you guys have been playing on it, which has changed the stats, but I don't think so. So I did some new searches because Google can't whitewash everything. So the next thing that I come to is one of the Meghan supporters asked me to do a comparison between Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And now I'm going to share that on the screen. So I just get the next one up. Now this search, I'll just check you guys can see that.
Can't you do the picture-in-picture where we're a little tiny in the bottom of the screen?
Well, yeah, but it still might be too small for people on phones. So at the top here, the blue is Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, and the red is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. We're making a comparison. This is a search only in the country of Lesotho. Search from 2008 to the current time in all categories, but under Google Shopping, in otherwise merchandising, merching, right? So let's go through. Whoa, there were a lot of searches. May 2011, but there were none for Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge. You see there's 100. It's like the graph, if it's 100, that's like what, 0 to 10. So that's a lot.
Well, how could it work in 2011 when no one had heard of it until 2018?
I have no idea. Maybe it's another Meghan.
Duchess of Sussex.
I can tell you that Harry, in fact, I'll open another window and search this. You can see these searches continue. They're all pretty steady up to June 2023. There is most definitely a lot of search, not just one or two people. There's a lot of search activity within that country for Meghan, all red, all Meghan. Now, if I put in, when did Prince Harry meet the Prince of Lesotho, and I'll share this window as well for the benefit of Meghan supporters who don't believe me, you know, and I might be full of shit. And then you can see for yourselves. March 2004. In March 2004, Prince Harry visited Lesotho for an 8-week stay as part of his gap year. He formed a lasting bond with Lesotho's Prince Siso, who lost his mother shortly before Harry's arrival. So then, if we look up the charity, I think that's how you spell it, Sendabale. There it is. When was it founded? 2006. So everybody in the world knew that Prince Harry was connected to a country called Lesotho. And suddenly there are searches. Now, some people might say, how could, let's say Meghan. Meghan's completely innocent, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation behind all of this. It cannot be that someone was psychic in Lesotho. I think we can all probably agree on that. But it is quite an extraordinary coincidence, isn't it? You can't stop laughing. You're thinking, how many black followers do I want on Instagram and how many female followers do I want on it? I mean, is anyone else, apart from me, shocked to shit about this? Apparently, I looked up on Wikipedia, Lesotho is famous for farming and stuff like that. I found out today they do a very big trade in SEO, online marketing, and fake followers. They don't mention that part on their wiki page.
Well, if $69 buys you how many?
2,500.
And they're allegedly real people. How much money is that each for those people? How much do they get paid? I mean, they must get paid 50p.
But maybe if you've got one
the most for like umpteen different accounts, mustn't they?
Yeah, but like if you were living in Lesotho and you were being paid, I don't know, 5p to follow someone, you could be following 100 celebrities.
You could.
So that then it adds up, doesn't it?
And you'd be just told to type.
I mean, personally, I find the whole idea of the industry of paying someone to be a fan to type comments that you of a nature that you want, I find that enormously deceptive. I'm not talking about Meghan right now. I mean anybody on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Well, it's like fraud, isn't it?
Yes, it's a complete falsification.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I had a Meghan supporter have a go at me, I think on YouTube, can't remember, and said, how dare I know a lot of you said I mispronounced the name of the country wrong, but this one was really angry. How dare you diss our great country? So there is at least one person from Lesotho watching, because that's what they said yesterday. I think I might have hit a nerve here somewhere. Right, let's read some of the comments.
These are for Instagram as well and things like this.
Yeah, I've got another one here.
If people think you've got loads of followers, they might pay more attention to you, I suppose.
I mean, this is another company, and this is, I'll share this one. Which one is the most shocking page? This is another one called Thatware, another AI powered. I mean, there's a lot. Let's start with this page. So this is social media marketing. I'll catch up on some of your comments in a minute, guys. So let's have a read of this.
Pam says, I'd never thought of something like this.
Right, social media marketing. So today, the usage of various social media platforms. This company, by the way, is also based in Lesotho. I'll prove that in a minute. I'll go to their homepage, but I just want to read you this bit. Today, the usage of various social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, and Snapchat, etc., is not simply limited to fulfilling entertainment purposes.
Well, what else would it be up for?
Let's find out, shall we?
They claim.
But the use of these platforms today has resulted in something much more economically and socially significant. Connecting with your audience for various purposes like building your brand or increasing sales or driving website traffic when you use social media platform is known as social media marketing. Right, I got another page up that had a phrase in it that really got to Graham a lot. Where's that one about how you gotta lure people? Oh, got it here. So this page is branding press. So I just share. I don't know if you guys can read this print, but I mean, I'll put links to all of these websites so you can have over yourself. So can Meghan supporters, because one Meghan supporter was a little shocked and said, if just 1% of what you're saying is true, Fiona, why are the mainstream media not covering this? And that's a bloody good question.
I think the palace might frown on it.
Right. Oh yeah, I mean this particular website, I'll just prove to you, this is Lesotho. SEO services, Lesotho. And this is called Thatware.
Where does it say le?
There. Oh, le, yeah, I was just sharing that to prove to them that this is definitely a company based in that particular country.
Can you zoom in on the words, make them bigger?
Don't think I can.
Wheel on the mouse, maybe.
I can point at them with the mouse, but I don't think I can.
That way. Was that it?
Yeah, I want the one that's branding. This one, you'll love this description. Understanding. We understand decision making. It's important to get to the heart of the people and understand their priorities. We decode user patterns and differentiate customer behavior. Our wisdom gained through experience allows us to apply our neuroscience knowledge and brand creation and design. Our research suggests that to be a successful brand, an organization needs to lure, in commas. By this, we mean working around concepts like the instinctive and intuitive part of human. Once we are able to develop a strategy to attract customers, we move ahead a step further to convince to make a purchase decision. This is the most reflective part of our branding. Hence, to crack this, we have developed hybrid strategic methods using contemporary concepts of design thinking and practical learning by doing neuroscience methodologies, whatever the hell that sentence means.
It's very wordy, isn't it? Loads of words.
Sounds very word salady, doesn't it?
What does it mean? Does it mean just trying to trick you into buying something?
I like this bit. Whatever your requirements are, ranging from brand positioning and DNA,
DNA got
I don't know what they're getting at there. Changing your name, revisiting your architecture. What does that mean? Launching innovation or simply redesigning your identity. In other words, reinventing yourself. I mean, any of this sounding familiar to you guys? Are we getting near the meat on the bone here?
I think so.
All right, let's get to some comments because let's see what you guys think. What do you think? Anybody? I wonder if many of these outfits are owned by Christopher Boozy. I doubt it. I think they've been around a long, long time. They're talking about NDAs. NDAs are usually 1 to 5 years. Super injunctions can be permanent with enough backing. Don't forget the other problem, the royal family and the second son don't want to get out. Clue, coma victim. I think you've lost me there, actually. So, I mean, well, to me, I think there are a lot of celebrities. Fiona or Graham, can you forward my email address to Foxy? I'll try, but I haven't actually logged into my email in a long, long time. Fiona, could MM be living in GB? Would she have been?
We don't have Foxy's email.
We know she's an expert. I heard you cold buy subs ages ago and wondered how they did it. Well, yeah. Hi, Elaine. Well, I find it just mind-blowing. And I mean, to have the choice of buying female or black followers and that particular company brags they're real people who will really comment and follow. And they'll do.
See that they can do it for $67, $69.
Perhaps that's just like a luring price. I'm going to go...
They'll all be bots. They'll be lying. That's what I think.
I'm going to go back to that particular one. That's by Instagram, and we'll have another look at that because
you can freeze it later and take a closer look.
Yeah,
for sure.
Here we go. So that's just the categories. Then by Instagram engagements. Saves, story, poll votes, direct messages, shares, impressions, mentions, profile visits. By Instagram comments. I mean, this is just Instagram, but there are other companies. It doesn't matter what the platform is. It's a possibility. By Instagram likes. By Instagram targeted followers. Oh, right. So you can have Indian, Taiwanese, Brazilian, African, Turkish, Slovakian, Greek, Croatian, Luxembourg, Swedish, etc., etc. Look at that list of countries. You can choose what nationality you want. You can choose the demographic that you want. You can actually falsify your own demographic following. By Instagram views. By Instagram top services. I mean, it goes up to 100,000 followers there. I'm just finding this absolutely mind-blowing. So, right, getting back to you guys. That umbrella guy has done a few vids about Christopher Boozy and AI. Yeah, I mean, Boozy could well be just a separate entity. Yes, he could be. The theory of Bot Sentinel initially, I suppose, was to sniff out bots and reduce it to, that was the theory, that's what he said. And I'm not saying that all people who follow celebrities, all of them are bot followers, but if someone buys even one fake follower, that is a lie.
Yeah.
They buy 10 million fake followers, that's 10 million lies. This is enormously deceptive. What if you are, for example, I don't know, Donald Trump or Joe Biden, and you want to win an election? You can just go to Lesotho and buy some opinion voters who are real people, and you say, here's the script, tell everybody you're going to vote Democrat or Republican. Do any of you think that's right? Whatever your political stance, do any of you think that is
cheating.
right?
It's political cheating. You'd definitely get caught out in the UK if you were found out.
What if
trying to promote any particular party and put other parties down and make you think that everyone, because don't forget, when it comes to a poll, if you know what everyone else is going to say before you vote, you're probably, loads of people will vote with the majority just because they don't want to be the odd one out. So if you subconsciously think everyone's going to vote for A, and you think, well, I would have voted for B, but everyone's voting for A, I don't want to be an idiot, so I'll vote for A as well. But you've been
peer
by
pressure?
social media.
Peer pressure. I mean, for celebrities, that can be harmless. And none of us know for a fact that any member of the royal family does or doesn't do this. It is kind of weird that there were spikes of searches going back as far as 2011 about Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Now, that brings me to another thing, because people might say, well, how would Meghan herself, let's say Meghan was preying on Harry, stalking him from at least 2011.
You can't say that.
Well, it's a hypothetical theory. How would she have known that her title would be Meghan, Duchess of Sussex? Well, I found something else that I thought I'd share with you. Right, where's this one?
Princess Carol's here. Hi, Princess Carol. Right. Toms.
Now, before William and Catherine got married, I looked for this today. It was really quite difficult to find, because if you look up Catherine and William, a lot comes up. But I managed to find this called the Royal Forums. It's just a forum where people chat. They have conducted a poll. I'll just check this is actually being shared on the screen. Yeah, it is. Good.
I've got it here on my phone.
The poll at the top, right. What title will the Queen bestow on William and Catherine? Duke of Clarence, 16.45% of the people voted for. Duke of Cambridge, 44.74%. So that got the biggest votes, Duke of Cambridge. Duke of Sussex only got 3.29. Duke of Windsor, 5.26, interestingly enough, was more popular than Sussex. Duke of Kendal, I've never heard of that before, only 1.3%.
Something just occurred to me. Why don't you do the same search for Meghan, Duchess of Clarence, or Meghan, Duchess of Windsor?
No, I'm going to come to this. So they've done this poll, and the clear winner is Duke of Cambridge. And I'm not saying the Queen went on this forum and said that, but the poster at the top says something very interesting, and this is dated I don't know if you guys can see the date, but maybe you can expand it later if you freeze frame it. It's the 16th of November 2010. Now, Kate and William got married in 2011, in the spring, the next year. So they have not yet got married. This person says, a chap from Debrett's Peerage has just been interviewed on the BBC News and asked him about the possible titles for Prince William and Kate Middleton, as she was then known, when they get married. He said, if a dukedom is given, William and Kate will be able to choose which one they prefer. Possibilities include Cambridge and Sussex. The man also stated that if no dukedom is granted, the Queen could allow Kate to be known as Princess Catherine of Wales instead of Princess William of Wales. So that's very interesting. And you can also go on this Royal Forums. I will put all the links in the description of the live once it finishes. So you can go and you can read a lot of these comments. So, I mean, they're talking about Sussex, Clarence, Cambridge. So in 2011, they got married, and on the day of the wedding, it was revealed that they were going to be the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge.
Yeah.
So you're sitting off, like, this is still hypothetical, and you're Meghan, and you're thinking, oh, they chose Cambridge. So I suppose it would be Sussex for Harry. And that could explain unusual spikes of searches in the country, Lesotho.
But why would
Meghan, Duchess of Sussex.
Why would you search it? Because no one else would ever have thought of it.
I don't think anybody's searching it. It's activity on the internet under merchandising.
Oh, I see.
And also, well, Harry has connections there. And I guess she'd show up, wouldn't she? So I find all that very interesting. Now, let's get to some of the comments, unless you're all chatting amongst yourselves. She has been spinning her web since she met Marcus Anderson. I too have heard that rumour. It's all a mystery.
You can click on the middle of the...
Oh yes, I'll do that.
And they'll show up.
Of course, I always forget.
Foxy!
Yes, it's going out on both channels, Foxy, so you don't have to worry.
Yeah, it's identical, apparently. So
limited number of dukedoms available, yes. Yes. Well, she is actually technically a princess of the United Kingdom. Meghan is a princess. That's her working title, Princess of the United Kingdom.
Is it?
Mm. She's Princess Henry of Sussex, I suppose.
Well, he's a prince, I suppose. But
yeah, yeah.
I'm sure if she was a princess, she'd use it all the time instead of the Duchess, you know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with being a Duchess.
We need to have more info on a certain Marcus. Isn't it incredible? I mean,
You just check on the fire again.
How vulnerable members of the royal family are, who they let in and who they don't let in. I find it quite incredible. Right, where's your comment? Or maybe if you can copy it and post it again.
Which one?
This person M. Please read my comment. Yeah, I'm looking for a comment now.
Must have gone past it. If you go scroll back up, loads.
There's a lot of comments. Or maybe if you can post it again.
Yeah.
And then, of course, with all of us playing on Google Trends, that will also change the search. You know, suddenly there'll be a spike of us searching, and then that will show up. But yes, it won't show up as 2008 or 2011. Powers above want the monarchy gone. Well, that is not actually such a far-fetched theory. Here we go, I'll come back to that in a minute. Smeg had a rude awakening when she realised Sparrow didn't have access to enough money for her to spend, in my opinion. Yes, you could well be right, because I don't think it's that simple. I don't think Windsor's are, you know, they can just buy stuff. Yes, coming back to this comment, it's not inconceivable. I mean, let's look at the real dangers of, for Lesotho, just as an example, country that clearly and unashamedly has companies that say you can buy followers. What is to stop the Qataris from going there and saying, we want a load of people who don't like Israel. 10 million of them, all over the internet, support Hamas. Would that be all right? How much do you want?
Or versa versa.
Oh, $4? Ka-ching, deal done. That's how dangerous it is. That is the world we live in. Enemy states. If one plastic celebrity can do this, what the hell can an enemy state do?
They've been doing it with bots for years, especially in places like India.
Mm.
You know, people have been buying up old mobile phones. They've had rows and rows of hundreds of phones. They've said,
Funny you should
cash for
say.
clicks. And they've got one poor guy going around logging into people's accounts on each phone. And going, like, next phone, like. That's what he's paid to do all day long. He's just doing thousands of likes for one account.
Well, put it this way. If you wanted to bag Prince Harry, you'd probably want to find out where he hangs out, where he drinks, where he goes.
You want to bag anybody, that's what you're going to find out.
A very good, easy way to get in with the royals is what charity are they involved with? Isn't it? And if it's all over the news, all over the internet, it's not difficult.
Meghan went to Africa though. She was digging wells.
She went to Rwanda.
And helping people dig wells.
She was building an image as a humanitarian. How many times since she married Harry have you seen her go back and do that kind of thing?
Never. Well, she broke a nail while she was there. And she went, no.
I mean, that was one of the things he said he loved about her, that she was a humanitarian, that she loved being in Africa.
She was into the same things as him, you know, helping out.
Yeah, how much of that has come true?
Stuff like that.
Oh, Trevor's here.
Hello, Trevor.
Everything today is racist, for fuck's sake. Yes. So, fuck's sake. The internet has become a playground for the wealthy who are obsessed with control. Well, I mean, actually, looking at those prices, you don't have to be very wealthy, do you? I mean, $1,000 would do it. You could do a lot of damage with $1,000. These are real people who are going to be out there on the internet. And it's funny you should mention Indians, because the guy who founded the company, what's it called again? Thatware, he's an Indian. He's a doctor. He says he's got 8 master's degrees. I'm not sure about that because he looks like he's about 29. I watched him on YouTube. He's got, in fact, I'll look him up, then you guys can look him up at your leisure if you want. Founder of Thatware. Dr. Chewin Bannock. Thatware LLP.
They can't see that though.
No, they can't. I'm going to try and...
LinkedIn.
Right, I'll share that screen with them now.
Okay.
And this guy he's Indian, but he founded the company in Lesotho.
Ah.
One of the companies I've been talking about. The one that likes to lure
your customers.
There he is. That is the young man who says he's got 8 master's degrees. I don't know how long it takes to get a master's degree. He says that here. Oh, he was a Brighton CEO and speaker. Didn't know that.
What's that? Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Go back up.
Where?
There.
Oh, his contact info is in Dubai. He's got 10,965 followers. I wonder how many of them he had to buy from Lesotho.
Well, if he owns the company, who's selling them all to begin with, I mean, you could take advantage of your own company, can't you? I'm not saying he has, but I mean, it's possible, isn't it?
He says in his bio, I am Chewin Bannock, founder, CEO, and search scientist at thatware.co. I have over a decade of experience in advanced SEO, semantic search engine, natural language processing, NLP in SEO, machine learning search, penalty recovery specialist, understanding search algorithms, cracking Google patents, and being a technical SEO consultant. I have 8 master's degrees in digital marketing with expertise in data science, white papers on AI-based SEO, a patent on NLP SEO, and 1 bachelor's degree in engineering. I think that's quite enough sunshine we've heard blown up his arse. It goes on and on and on. 8 master's degree. Fiona, he served earlier in Coast Guard. We knew a guy who said he got his, what was it? He was a marine architect and he got his degree at an indigenous island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, which had subsequently sunk. Therefore,
and all his records went down with the island, apparently.
Unfortunately, he couldn't prove that he had his.
So there he is saying, I'm a boat today. If you want to buy a boat, come and see me. And he said, £220, please. He'd go down and he'd look at the boat, sell and buy it for you. And then he'd go home. And then you can't fault him for anything. And he used to do this to people every single day. The guy was loaded, he was driving around with a new car and a big house.
Right. Moving on, because some people are maybe paid to support and follow Meghan. Some people may be robots, may or may not be, and some people may be genuine. And I get this a lot where people say, how could Wally or anyone else have ever questioned the fact that Meghan was pregnant? You know, was she or wasn't she pregnant? Now, before I start this subject, and I am going to show photographs from Birkenhead, I want to make my position clear. I actually don't care, personally, if Meghan was pregnant or not. I don't know if she was. I'm not really into that, and I never have been. However, I respect the right of every single British subject to question it because it's a line of succession, which we'll go into a little bit later. Now, personally, I think maybe Meghan, being a bit of a drama queen, probably wore some sort of fake bump, like Kevlar, stab-proof vest, because she was going walkabout, shaking hands, and didn't want to be stabbed and wanted to protect the fetus. And yeah, okay, fair enough, I can go along with that because that is the only logical explanation.
And it might slip down, mightn't it?
Because something slipped at Birkenhead, I'm sorry. And I know that Meghan's mole has had problems from talking about this, and I run the gauntlet as well. I know Wally had problems talking about this. But I mean, if they had just put out a statement saying Meghan was wearing a stab-proof vest, it slipped, that would have cleared a lot up at the time. But unfortunately,
it was.
Right, I've got several websites here, and I think we'll probably go for Getty. Because that's that's the horse's mouth, isn't it? Getty.
I'm going to grab another beer while you're switching screens.
Oh, I'd have another cup of tea, please.
Okie dokie.
Thank you. Right, where's Getty? Here we go. Now, any of you can do this. Any of you can go to Getty.com. And you can search Meghan Markle Birkenhead, Birkenhead, and the photographs come up. Now, there are two particular photographs here for me, which it's got to be some sort of security thing, you know, stab-proof thing. Because I'll just get one image up. She's clearly heavily pregnant there. You can actually buy this for €475. I mean, she's heavily pregnant. Look at the bump there. That's big. That's a bump, isn't it? There's no denying that's a bump. Not so visible there, is it? Now, like I say, this is not my cup of tea, but I want people who don't understand why Brits and other people question whether she was pregnant or not. I want them to understand this is the reason why. Because in some of these photographs, she's clearly heavily pregnant, and in others, there doesn't appear to be a bump at all. Which is extraordinary. I mean, how can that happen in the space of, I don't know, half an hour? It really is extraordinary. There are several photos. Interestingly enough, when they left this event, the bump was distinctly hanging down her right leg. There's no two ways about it. And those images were on this website, and they have been removed by Getty. And I am telling you, as God is my witness, they were on this website and they have been removed. If you guys can find them on the actual Getty, I'd be very grateful. but I know because Lady C pointed out that these images, this is the date that they're worried about. Something happened. They hope nobody had noticed. Unfortunately, a lot of people noticed. There are other occasions. I mean, if you guys put in the comments what the names of the other occasions are, I can search for them just as easily on Getty. What do you make of that? I mean, it's yes, the child must be born of her body. That's a fact. We're going to go through I've got the royal website up, and I've got some quite surprising facts and details and a little bit of history. I didn't do very well at school, by the way, guys. So I can actually feel historians out there juddering and shuddering at the thought of me telling anybody about history, because I get so many things wrong. That's why I didn't know how to pronounce Lesotho. I didn't do well at school. I'm not a teacher, and I'm not. Yeah, the New York baby shower, that was another one. She sort of had a big bump in the morning and no bump in the afternoon. And again, I mean, you've got to consider the possibility that she was wearing some sort of padding for security, for safety. And I don't think anybody could criticise her for that.
I wouldn't be. I think so. I don't even know where Lesotho is. It's in Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's.
Couldn't put my finger on it.
Right. I'm back here on Graham. Oh, right. So you're on Graham's channel, and are we on your channel? Or
we're on both.
We're on both.
Fiona's and my channel at the same time.
Live. She may have paid to have them removed. I don't know, or they may have removed them. Now, I've got the photographs. They're on the internet, so I will now bring them up. But because they're not on the Getty website, it loses credibility because they could be photoshopped.
They were originally on Getty, weren't they?
So, you get the image, the critical image, which I looked at and I thought, what is going on here? No, it's the one by the car.
Was it that one?
No, it's where Harry is.
Look how big it is there. Daily Express.
Well, I mean, that's the picture. Hopefully a Pinterest one will, yeah. Right, I'll share this photograph and then you'll see what I mean, guys. And this was...
That's the one I've seen before. Caused all the controversy, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's the one. And there appears to be a lump down here.
And the lack of up above.
And a lack of bump up here. There's a slightly clearer one there. What is this at the bottom of the skirt? Now, some people say it's the wind. The earlier photograph I showed you, the bump was absolutely enormous.
Significance.
So this is basically what has, and also squatting down like that. Like I say, for me,
it could be some sort of stamp-proof protection that slipped down. It's not beyond the realms of.
It's not. It's not.
I don't know, and I don't care.
But there are certain rules to be in the line of succession to the British royal family, and one of them is that children must be born of the body, and I will come to the reason why. Now, if you're all
well, those rules were made in the days before artificial insemination, where the woman and the man are the genetic parents. So these rules could be subject to change because of advances in medical science.
Yes.
I mean, if DNA dictates that her and him are the biological parents, but then it opens the floodgates for future queens and people like that to just go, no, I don't want a baby myself, or I get a hire a surrogate, and there can be all kinds of people, you know. So it's one of them dodgy ones that has to be debated for sure.
Right, let's get it from the King's mouth himself. Oh, and by the way, I just love on X, where I copied in Kensington Palace and the royal family, basically William and Catherine and the King and Queen. I love that all of you who replied on X copied them in as well, including people saying, I hope your rugs are going to be all right in the garden. And you copied in the King and the Queen, William and Catherine. I thought, so there's every chance there's a member of at least one staff from one of those houses watching this tonight. And maybe they'll get the idea that people are frustrated. Now, it's every British subject's right to question the line of succession. What is really bad is people like Wally being completely silenced and told to shut up. She never swore, she never threatened, she was never nasty. But she did question, as a woman who'd been through at least one pregnancy herself, there were things and anomalies that she couldn't understand. And there are literally millions of other women around the world looking on and thinking, what? And men actually, because you've got 4 children and 3 grandchildren. Yeah. Have you ever seen the bump slip down the leg?
No, I haven't.
I've been pregnant twice, and I'm pretty sure my bump remained in situ and grew at a gradual
Well, that
pace.
was Wally's point, wasn't it?
Yeah, not my point. Right, so royal family. Right, there we go. So I need to share this with you. Hope you guys are following this and it's not going on for too long. The royal, here we are. So I'm going to read out a little bit of the rules of the line of succession. So here we've got the official royal family website. The succession to the throne is regulated not only through descent, but also by parliamentary statute. The order of succession is the sequence of members of the royal family in the order in which they stand in line to the throne. The basis for the succession was determined in the constitutional developments of the 17th century, which culminated the Bill of Rights 1689 and the Act of Settlement 1701. When James II fled the country in 1688, Parliament held that he had abdicated the government and that the throne was vacant. The throne was then offered not to James's young son, but to his daughter Mary and her husband William of Orange as joint rulers. It therefore came to be established not only that the sovereign rules through Parliament, but that the succession to the throne can be regulated by Parliament, and that a sovereign can be deprived of her title through misgovernment. The Act of Settlement confirmed that it was for Parliament to determine the title to the throne. The Act laid down that only Protestant descendants of Princess Sophia, the Electress of Hanover and granddaughter of James I, are eligible to succeed. Subsequent acts have confirmed this. So let's go to Princess Sophia, because this was all really quite news to me. I'd never heard of her before. And she's quite fascinating. So what I'm going to do
So
is...
they got rid of James II, but it had to stay in the family, but only if you were a Protestant. Okay? So let's not even talk about 1690, okay? Let's not go there.
Well, I can do a quick history rundown. I always used to get muddled after James I. So I did loads of history research then. I think I've got it licked. I think I've got it. Now, let's get a picture of Sophia up and Meghan supporters and lovers are going to love this picture. In fact, I think a lot of you are going to love this picture because she kind of looks a little bit like Meghan. And she is dressed in Native American costume with feathers, and I absolutely adore this painting. All right, where have you gone, Sophia? Here we are.
This is Wikipedia, is it?
I'm using Wikipedia. This here is Princess Sophia. And look at that. And apparently her sister painted that picture.
She's nicer looking than Meghan.
I don't know. I think Meghan's quite nice looking. Obviously, their skin colour is very different. There's another picture over there. That's a lovely picture. Now, she was never the Queen of England, Scotland, or Ireland.
She was the granddaughter of
James the First.
James I, who was son of Mary, Queen of Scots, yeah?
That's right. So everybody, I'm trying for some of the people in America who maybe don't know. We had
Who was a Stuart. So she went off to, who did she get married to?
Well, hang on, Wolves, hold your horses.
Well,
to catch other people up who are not familiar with the line of succession at all. I think most people know Henry VIII.
Yeah.
Okay, he had 6
There'll
wives.
be a lot of people in America who have no idea, but go on.
I think most people in America are going to know who Henry VIII was. He had 6 wives.
Everyone knows who he was, yeah.
He had 3 children, 1 died, and 2 became queens. Queen Elizabeth I was the last of the Tudors, and she had a cousin, Queen Mary of Scots, and she had her head cut off. Mary, Queen of Scots, had a son called James, and when Elizabeth I died with no heirs, they asked James, I think he was James VI of Scotland, but he became James I of England, and he became king of the 2. And he knocked out a bunch of children.
But he lied. He was a Catholic.
Was he?
He said he wasn't. He said, no, I'm Scottish Presbyterian, which makes me because they said you can't come down and be king if you're a Catholic. His mum was Catholic.
That's right.
And all the rest of the Stuarts were Catholics, and the Stuarts today are still Catholics. But he went, no, I'm Presbyterian, Scottish Presbyterian. They went, oh, that's all right, you can come down and be king. Since you're a proddy like us.
That's the thing.
That's where all the trouble started.
You cannot be a Catholic and be in the line of succession. You cannot marry a Catholic and be in the line of succession.
Since Henry VIII, because it caused problems. Mary was a Catholic, and look at all the trouble we had there. They were burning each other every 5 minutes.
It's not Henry VIII. It's not.
He changed the law. He changed the church from
Graham. That's not true.
The Pope to him.
Because
he was head of the Church of England.
James II was really quite Catholic, and he was a king long after Henry VIII. They made the law in Parliament.
James II was a Catholic. They were all Catholics. All the Stuarts were Catholics. They just lied and said they weren't.
No, all the Stuarts were not Catholics. That's wrong.
Even Bonnie Prince Charlie was a Catholic. I'm telling you. Charles I, the one who got his head chopped off, right? He said, no, I'm not a Catholic. I'm head of the Church of England. I'm a Protestant. But you know, they were all Catholics really in secret.
Not this girl.
Well, that's true because
that's why they chose her.
James II, Battle of the Boyne, 1690, right? He was a Catholic in the 80s. They got rid of him. But his 2 daughters, Mary and Anne, were both brought up as Protestants because he was supposed to be a Protestant. That's the only reason they let Mary back to be the Queen, because she was a proddy. And all this nonsense between Catholics and Protestants caused so much upheaval and rape and murder and destruction and theft. Anyway, I'll shut up. Not going into one about religion.
No, go on, you tell me why on the royal website they say everybody must come from this lady's line.
Because she was a Protestant and she was related to him.
She was a Stuart. You just said all the Stuarts were Catholics. Yeah,
but some of them were Protestants. They branched off. I'm talking about the ones who were in line for the throne. Because James II actually had a son who was entitled to the throne, a rightful heir, if you like. But they were having none of it, so we don't having no more Catholics, and they got rid of him. Mary and William arrived on the shores in Brixton, and everyone was cheering them. It was an invading army that arrived, and everyone was cheering them and throwing flowers at them, and they marched on London. And James did one. I'm going. He won off. Didn't come down to confront him with an army and say, "Hey, this is my kingdom." He legged it. He went to Ireland. He finished up the Battle of the Boyne. Ask Trevor; he'll tell you all about that. Because to this day in Northern Ireland, they're still arguing about it. It happened in 1690. For goodness sake, and it's still causing problems today between the Catholics and the Protestants. Anyway, I'm going to shut up.
No, go on, you tell the story. Where does it go from? James I?
Well, they got rid of him. They couldn't stand James II.
We're talking about James I.
James I, I think.
How did they get from James I to this lady here, Princess Sophia being the heir presumptive?
I don't know. There you go, I don't know.
Right. So carrying on, because it's quite unusual because she never became the queen. She never actually made it. She was like a backup plan. Now, we've got James the First, who was the first king of both England and Scotland. Yeah. And James the First had several children, one of whom was
Charles the First.
Charles the First, who had his head cut off.
Yeah, but that was all about something different. That was not, it was the Civil War, wasn't it? And
Doesn't matter.
power struggle. with
Putting it
power.
into context without overcomplicating things.
Yeah.
Let's say we've got, I don't know, an American Meghan Markle supporter who's 16 years old. She's not going to know what the shit you're talking about. So there was a king called James the First who had a son. Yeah, Charles the First.
Yeah.
And his head was cut off.
Yeah.
And he had a son,
Charles II.
Charles the Second, who ran away. He went on the run from Shoreham.
Put it back on it.
Hang on. Which one?
Yeah.
You want this? Go on.
There you go. Charles II, when his dad had his head cut off, and there was this English Civil War, the Royalists and the Parliament.
Charles I had his head cut off. Charles II.
He put Charles I on trial, accusing him of being a traitor, and he was like, "How dare you, I'm the king, how can I be a traitor?" Anyway, they found him guilty in kangaroo court, chopped his head off. His son, who was heir to the throne,
Charles II.
Charles II later, 15 years later, after Oliver Cromwell died. So he ran off, and he had to get out of the country quick before they caught him and chopped his head off as well. So he had to get past Steyning Castle, which was a big, monstrous castle in those days. I mean, he had to dodge all the police and they dress up as a peasant and everything. He went to Shoreham, where me and Fiona met up, because there's a river there at Shoreham, which is just a hole in the ground full of mud. But twice a day it fills up with water, and it's a harbour. You know, you can sail it. So they had to wait for the tide to be high enough to get a boat to get away, and he actually got away. And he went down the coast.
What was the boat called?
I don't know.
I know.
And he went down the coast, hugging the coast, so in case anyone was watching, because if he thought he'd do a leg it straight to France, they'd go, "Hey, the boat!" They might have raised the alarm. So the route took him down towards Littlehampton, out of sight of Shoreham, and then it peeled off and went to France. So at the yacht club in Shoreham, where we used to live, every year they do a thing, a yacht regatta called the Royal Escape, and they all the yachties get in with the yellow wellies and everything, and off they go, and they do the same route and off to France, get on the piss, and they come back. Well, that's beside the point. The point was, he got away, and he was hiding in France for 15 years. And they turned round to Oliver Cromwell, who was in head of the parliamentary forces, and said, "Why don't you be King Oliver the First?" And he went, "No, I'm not. That's what we fought against all these years.
You're confusing them.
How dare you?" No, and he was the Lord Protector of England. England was a republic. Honestly, it was.
It was.
15 years.
It was.
And then he died. He just keeled over one day, and that was it. He's dead. And they think, "What are we going to do now?" And they went, "Why don't we find
Charlie too.
Charles II, and we invite him back to be king?" And the whole Civil War was in vain, wasn't it? Anyway, back to you.
So Charles II came back.
Charles II came back, and they said, "Oh, you can be king again, but there's loads of conditions you have to agree to before we let you be king." So Parliament was really in control, not the king, because before that, all dodginess. So
nearly pink thistle. Sophia died. It wasn't her cousin, it was her son, who was George I. Her son. But I'd never heard of her before. So yes, Charles II, to just summarise and keep it short, because I used to switch off a lot at school when the teacher went on and on and on. And I remember hearing benevolent despot, what's that? And she was obviously talking about Charles II, because I read about that today. Some people thought he was a bit of a bastard, and some people thought he was lovely for different reasons. Anyway, he died. And the next king was
His brother,
James II.
James II, who was a Catholic.
He lied and said he was Protestant,
He did.
but actually he really liked the Catholics.
He did.
He had 2 daughters and 1 son,
Mary and Anne,
Mary and Anne.
who were both Protestants.
Yes.
And he got married off to Protestants elsewhere in Europe. Yes, they were brought up as Protestants.
So basically, it was his own daughter who ousted him.
He was,
And her husband,
William
and Mary. His
King
own
William,
daughter.
that's the point.
How treacherous! His own
But they kept it in the
daughter.
family.
Yes.
That's why they were joint monarch. Both of them were the monarch. Yeah.
And I've got a family tree, which might help, because this always confuses me. I always used to get muddled about the Jameses and the Stuarts and the Charlies, because they all had big long wigs, you know. They all looked very similar to me as a kid. I couldn't tell the difference between Charles I and James II. They all looked the same. As a kid, you know. I can tell the difference now. But as a kid, so
they all look like
it was all a blur.
Sir Percy off
I mean,
Blackadder, didn't they?
Oh, I've got a picture of Sir Percy. Oh, I'll show you something. Charles II, they dressed him up like a little girl. Oh, look at it. Where's it gone?
Get it up on the screen.
You won't believe this. I mean, Charles II must have thought,
She showed me.
if my father hadn't already been murdered, he'd probably have done it himself. You won't believe this one, right? Where have we gone? Window. Oh, I've got to open it here first. You carry on with your history lesson for a minute while I find him in his little girl's outfit. I mean, it's a proper Cinderella ball gown, the poor kid. No, I'll have to open a wiki.
Just looking at the.
I'll have to open a wiki page.
Okay, we'll open the wiki
Because I got it off Wikipedia and it's hilarious.
Embarrassing. Is Trevor still here? Is he still on? Because he knows a lot about this.
What, babies in ball gowns?
No. The times when the Catholics and the Protestants were all getting a knock with each other. Oh, there it is. That's that picture there.
Wait till you see
That
it.
is super humiliating. I mean, if my mother and father produced a picture of me as a baby and said, "Oh, that's all right, Graham, look at that," I'd want to kill him as well. Definitely. How on earth can you? They went, everybody dressed like that in the baby gowns. And it's a normal thing for big boys to wear dresses.
I'm sorry, no, you don't.
No.
I mean,
No, I'm sorry.
that little kid's got absolutely no choice about that.
That is super humiliating, isn't it?
And then he went from that to, oh, hang on, I've got to go to the actual page now. Where's he gone? Charles II. Where's my window?
Oh,
Do you see where it is?
No. It's all a bit beyond me.
Oh, I think
I
I've
don't
got
even
too
try
many
to
windows.
do
I'll
it.
close that Pinterest one, you might appear. I've got Sophia there.
Who are you looking for?
Charles, oh, there he is. That's him as a teenager. That's a lot better. There's one of his gold coins. And there he is, all right? Do you think that dude appreciated when he saw the oil painting of himself dressed like Cinderella?
No.
I don't think he's...
He looks a lot better there. For sure. I'm not so sure about that picture. That's an embarrassing picture as well.
What do you think? Well, it was the fashion at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the servant.
Grovelling is his face.
I quite like that painting, actually. That's nice.
That's Charles II.
And we were standing by that statue, weren't we, the other day?
That's Parliament, isn't it?
Yes. Isn't that where you said, let's go down by that little cafe?
No, that
And
was,
we
the,
went
that
in,
was the jewel house on the other side
And
of
it
the
was a
road.
bit weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I say, it's done like Caesar, all in gold there. Right.
Right, come on, get back.
Okay. So then Charles II had lots of children, but unfortunately, None of them were legitimate. None of them.
Just click on something else because that's been there for ages. That one. There you go.
It's
See, neither of us are in control here. Fiona's
I'm
doing quite a good. She's doing a better job than me, for sure. If I was in charge.
So Charles II he had loads of kids, like Duke of Monmouth, people like that, but none of them were born in wedlock. That's another thing. So his younger brother, James II, became king, and it's the dodgy baby in the bedpan.
I believe it was genuine. Honestly, I do. I've seen loads of documentaries on it, and I think they hated him that much. The last thing they wanted was a baby on the right to the throne.
That would be big Catholic.
And that was it. They made up loads of stories, and the poor guy was genuinely heir to the throne, but they thought, no, we've got to get rid of them, and we've got to make an act of parliament so that no Catholic can ever get on the throne again, ever.
Yes, she couldn't have children.
So they had to pick family members who were province rather than male, who were Catholics. What?
I'm just reading some of the comments.
Pregnant baby bumps don't go.
And Charles II had lots of mistresses, and I wanted to.
Look, women know this. Women. Most of the women on this channel now will have had babies, and they'll know exactly what we're talking about. And I didn't know they don't go from side to side, but I mean, I'll take your word for it.
Mine never went side to side. Anyway, one of his mistresses, and I just wanted to show you this picture as a side thing, because especially for Meghan supporters or anybody who thinks the British royals are racist or anything like that, and it's a particularly magical painting. There is a woman called the Duchess of Portsmouth, and she was a mistress of Charles II, and I'm going to show you a really lovely picture of her. And it just says she's been painted with an unknown person. Now, I'm guessing this is a little girl, despite the fact Charles II was dressed like Cinderella. I'm going to show you this, and it's like a fairy tale painting this. I'm sure you're going to love this. Look at that. Is that sharing it? Yes, it is. Look at that picture. And this is a little girl. And look at the pearls she's wearing and the seashell with all the pearls in it. This, to me, this is a sort of painting that I would imagine in a Cinderella storybook. I just love it, and the detail in it. But she wasn't a queen. They made her the Duchess of Portsmouth, and she was a mistress of Charles II, whose wife couldn't have children. Right. So I just thought I'd put that up there because I love that. I love that kind of thing. I love that. Right. So then, James II. Let me see if I can find this family tree.
But
I had it earlier.
While you're finding the family tree, just a bit of trivia here. Britannia, the woman Britannia is very, very British, isn't it? Britannia. We see Britannia on the penny, the old penny, and. Who was Britannia? And it turns out that she was the King's mistress, Frances Stuart, and she modelled for Britannia. That's not Frances Stuart, by the way. But yeah, I didn't know that. I only found that out the other day. I thought Britannia must have been like a legendary queen or something from, I don't know, Saxon days or something. But no, apparently she was the King's mistress. Lady called Frances Stuart.
Oh, I think it might be on Sophia's actual page.
Right, let's go back to the comments while I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
Beautiful painting. Yeah. There you've got me French. That's very foxy indeed. Oh yes, that's it. So I've missed a lot. Everyone on Graham's channel, Foxy. Hello again, Graham and Fiona. It's certainly good to be here. It's good to have you along, old boy, old bean. Foxy's got a great channel, by the way, and he's almost at 3,000. So it'd be quite good to get Foxy up to 3,000. If anyone wants to go and check out Foxy's channel, he does loads of good stuff in Sussex. You found it yet?
I'm looking now. I had it earlier, and it was just such a
Well,
brilliant.
that's a good picture. Back up. That's a good picture.
Yeah, we've already had a look at that picture.
Oh, have you?
Mm.
Oh.
That's my
I
favourite.
must have missed that one. Yeah. Princess, come on, you're boring everyone. You're
trying
taking
to
too
find-
long.
Right, well,
You're like that other fella who's always off about with his different windows.
Right, we're up to James II.
James II.
Who ran away when Mary and William turned up.
Well, Trevor could tell you all about him.
Does Trevor know all about James II?
Well, he's the one who had the battle with King Billy when he had the Boyne. And he's from Northern Ireland, so I mean, they never let it go there, do they? They keep banging on about it. That's what all the Orange marches are about.
So,
And, all these years later.
I'm just looking for her parents, just to make sure I've got this. Elizabeth Stewart, right, Elizabeth Stewart. So because Sophia was basically James I's granddaughter, wasn't she? Yes. Yes,
Okay.
she was.
And she was a Protestant. And where was she living?
She was the granddaughter of King James.
Where was she living? In England?
No, she lived in Holland.
She was married to someone in Holland.
Netherlands.
I know where Holland is.
Yeah, but I got criticised because the English word for the Netherlands is Holland, and someone said I'm from the Netherlands, don't call it Holland. It's a bit like here in Spain, they call it Holland. Anyway.
The Netherlands.
She was the granddaughter of James VI of Scotland, but the first of England. Because they'd had a lot of Jimmies in Scotland before him. So they had her on standby. She died before she was
can't see this.
But
we're still on the picture of the.
Yeah, but because I've shown the pictures of Sophia.
Yeah. So why on this page? I can't see anything. What's going on? There we are. That's what the pages that were on. It's good that you got us in the little corner. I would like to keep that there. I think you've got to go into one of the other screens to get that. Where are you going there again from? Because
this is the lady we're talking about. So Mary and William became the king and queen. Mary died, and William actually met with Sophia.
Did he?
Months before he died, yeah, he met with her. And then Anne became queen after.
William, who's William?
William and Mary.
Oh, that William, right, okay.
William of Orange.
Right, yeah.
And then Queen Anne was the last of the Stuarts.
Well, she was the other sister of James II.
Yeah,
I think.
Mary had already died. Anne was the last one.
Tell me how we got to George I, who was German, didn't even speak any English. He must have been related to Sophie then, yeah?
Sophie was his mummy. Is that easy enough?
That explains it.
And then we had the Hanoverians, which is why everybody teases our Windsors and says they're German. They're not exactly German.
The family lived in Germany for quite a while.
A lot of them lived in Germany. George I didn't really like England. George II. George
III. I mean, someone says there's a few billion go and live in England. Oh yeah, okay.
So she was the mother, basically, of the Hanoverian line.
Right.
But she never. And also another interesting thing about her, she was about 83 when she died, which was an exceptional age for back then. And Queen Anne didn't like her.
For today.
She was 35 years older than Queen Anne,
right.
Who apparently was a little bit plain. And Queen Anne did not want Sophia in England, certainly not London.
You're confusing Foxy now because we're on two channels. Each channel watches on both channels. Foxy just watches on one channel, mate. Pick a channel and stay there. Doesn't matter which channel you're on, it's fine. As long as you hit like on both, okay?
And tell him about X.
No, don't even go there, mate. No.
So anyway, Sophia was 35 years older than Anne, but apparently much prettier, very physically fit and healthy, and Anne was jealous of a woman 35 years her senior. And she wouldn't have her anywhere near. And she knew she was heir presumptive, and she didn't like that either.
So what's all this got to do with Meghan Markle? Line of succession.
Well, the line of succession.
Line of succession. Oh, they've all got to.
But you say they didn't smuggle a baby in a bedpan. You've just said that. They didn't smuggle it in. Can you imagine in 300 years, guys, someone says Meghan Markle wore a moon bump? And there'll be another conversation on some kind of a live, and they'll go, "No, I think they just didn't like her for some other reason." Same thing, you know. You think someone made it up that they smuggled a baby in a bedpan?
That's why we have the Jacobite Rebellion, because a few generations of Stuarts after then, they had Bonnie Prince Charlie popped up and he goes, "I'm the rightful king." And he rolls a load of Catholics up and come back to fight the crown.
I could go back to 1066 and William the Conqueror.
We're talking about the slippery Stuarts here.
So basically, it's a big no-no to be a Catholic.
Yeah.
It cannot be.
I thought Meghan went to Catholic school.
No, Meghan was raised a Catholic, I think, in a Catholic school, but she did communion, she converted Church of England, I remember all of that. And she was even baptised by the Archbishop, yeah. So she did do all of that.
4 days before the wedding.
Earlier today, I saw a YouTube short featuring about 8 different pictures of Meghan, inconsistent stages of pregnancy with dates. Some she looked very heavily pregnant and then later looked slimmer. Yes, I've seen the same, definitely.
That could be consistent with some sort of stab-proof.
It could be.
I mean, it's not. I mean, if she wore some sort of stab-proof thing and she was genuinely pregnant, I mean, that's fair enough, isn't it? I think.
I don't think I'd criticise, certainly not a pregnant woman for doing that. She's going to go walkabout. I mean, there was that MP, he was talking to a constituent. The guy literally just jumped the desk and plunged him with a knife. It can happen so fast.
Our kids wear life jackets all the time.
Exactly.
And
there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Lady Faith didn't fall in, but Ben fell in twice. So
yeah,
saved his life twice, you could say. So it was a good idea. Because you only die once, don't you? You know what I mean? So little Ben, he fell in the water twice. We were right there to pull him.
Something, yeah. If, for example, someone had pulled a knife on Meghan and gone to stab her, I mean, everyone would be. But then they might say, it's okay. She's wearing Kevlar. Didn't get.
Everyone think that's good thinking.
Exactly.
You know. So.
Exactly. But of course,
maybe she didn't want to reveal what she was wearing that in case someone thought, well, I'll get a gun next time. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. Whatever reason they had for not telling anyone, I don't know.
I don't know. So there's loads of rules. It's not just like the royal family made this shit up. And basically, ever since all that kick-off with James II, it wasn't just bringing Charlie II back.
Didn't she convert to Jewish to marry Trevor?
Trevor Engelson?
Yeah.
No. Oh, was Trevor Engelson Jewish?
I think you have to if you marry someone who's Jewish, don't you?
Normally, yes. But I didn't know Trevor Engelson was Jewish. I think the one before was Jewish. Right. The Act of 1701, no Catholic can be on the throne. It was done to stop James II taking the throne. Well, yes, and to prevent his bedpan baby son, who Graham says they just made that up as an excuse.
Well, I don't know, I wasn't there, but they claimed it wasn't a legitimate son. It was a fake baby they brought in a bedpan.
His wife was about 45 years old at the time, I think, and a lot of people went, well, come on, it was the equivalent of the moon bump.
I don't know, I wasn't, it was hundreds of years before I was born. I mean,
I have spent all day long reading on the history, and all you've been doing is going about the Battle of Boyne or something at me.
Well, that was big.
But not as big as this lady. So let's go back to the royal website, because you're just not having it, are you, at all? And there's a picture of Charles and a picture of William. I love there's no picture of Harry in there. I think that's quite amusing. There's the royal, here we go. Royal family website. There we are.
That's big, Willie.
The basis of the succession was determined on constitutional developments between the Bill of Rights 1689 and the 1701 Act of Settlement.
James II fled, he ran away, pulled his skirts up and legged it. Any proper man would have faced up, wouldn't he, and died in battle, you know what I mean? An act of parliament is what lays down who can and cannot. They must be a direct descendant
of Princess Sophia, the Electress of Hanover and granddaughter of James I.
Direct descendant to James I, yeah.
And
Okay.
apparently there are five.
I get that. So that means that our royal family today, if they follow that line of succession, is actually related to
That
Mary,
lady.
Queen of Scots. So the Scottish haven't been nipped off after all.
Who said they had?
Well, when they got rid of James.
In fact.
And replaced him with a Dutchman. Replaced him with a Dutchman. It wasn't that way at all, because his wife was related to Mary, Queen of Scots. So it was the same line, but it just went a different way than it should have done.
When William takes the throne, he will be one of the first, well, he'll be the first Stuart to be on the throne since.
Oh, not Stuart.
Yeah.
Spencer.
No, Stuart. And Spencer.
How do you reckon that?
Princess Diana and Spencer's related to the Stuarts.
Oh, they
You didn't know that, did you? You know it all.
I didn't know this. I don't know it all. I don't know.
Let's talk about the Battle of Boyne, which has got fuck all to do with Princess
Just got
Sophia.
rid of James. He slipped away again, didn't he? Before he got beaten, he slipped away.
I thought you were talking about the royal family. God, can you imagine the staff in Kensington Palace watching this? They're probably thinking,
we probably got it all wrong from the beginning to the end.
Probably.
But, you know.
Now, Rhea Snakespeare and I were having a chat the other day about what may or may not happen. Here comes some predictions. And it doesn't seem to matter how many times I say for Meghan supporters and sugars, they're just predictions. They're not going to come true. They get their knickers in such a twist. One of them accused me of stealing all these tiaras. I actually stole
That is the Spencer tiara.
I stole this from Althorpe Estate earlier in the week when we went to London. I nipped down, stole the Spencer tiara, and I stole this one as well. They're stolen jewels. They're real jewels, according to a sugar on it. Bless them.
When we were at Buckingham Palace, we went down into the vault where they keep all the jewels. And
in fact, I might swap tiaras for a bit.
Fiona borrowed a few while no one was looking.
Well, hang on. This is what makes it so difficult. Right. Right. So
that one looks quite good on it. Isn't that the
This is my coronation tiara. Everything's back to front on here. So
that's nothing to do with the Tsar of Russia.
No, nothing at all.
What was that green one called?
Nothing at all. Right. So Rhea and I were talking about councillors of state. Now they used to have 4 councillors of state, and then
Can we just explain what a councillor of state is, please?
They stand in for the monarch if he's feeling sick or abroad.
Okay.
There used to be 4 until Lady C made an excellent suggestion on her YouTube channel, and I am certain the powers that be were listening. And she said an elegant solution, rather than removing Andrew and Harry as councillors of state, would be to change the law and have more councillors of state, because everybody was worried.
Sandra Parrott. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Sandra. Oh, I'll put the other tiara back on then. Everybody was worried that if King Charles and Prince William were ill out of the country, it would mean that either Harry or Andrew would have to take charge, and nobody really wants that. So Lady C made this suggestion, and lo and behold, they went ahead and did it. The power of YouTube. Ooh. They added to Princess Anne and the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward. So now there are 6 councillors of state. Now everyone is thinking Harry's going to move back to the UK, that he's looking for property. One of the rules, I believe, to be a councillor of state is you have to live in England, I think. I don't know if it can just be anywhere in the UK, but England, I think it's got to be England. Now, I don't know the Act and how specific the rules are. Does it say councillors of state have to live on Crown property or just anywhere in England? I don't know. But what I'm thinking is, because a lot of people say, take his title. And I don't think they're ever going to take Duke of Sussex off him. That's going to go down as synonymous with him and Meghan. And it will probably, well, this is what me and Rhea were wondering. Will they say something like that the title will no longer be hereditary and would die with Harry? To give Harry his freedom. Wouldn't that be hilarious if King Charles III gave a speech and said, I'm helping Harry find his freedom. And then he listed out the title will die with him. He's released from all responsibility. And if he kept using the term finding freedom,
He's never had any
me and Ria
responsibility.
thought that'd be quite funny, actually.
He's never had any responsibility.
No, can you imagine Harry in charge? Like signing shit.
No. I wouldn't leave him in charge of a potted plant. He'd forget to water
Now, as
it,
far
wouldn't
as
he?
the line of succession goes, there's no way the Windsors are ever going to allow any story about surrogacy to come out, because they would be questioned. Everyone would be looking at all of them, wouldn't they? They'd be looking at Catherine, they'd be looking at Diana, they'd even be looking at the late Queen, and they'd be thinking, what if they wore moon bumps? Do you see what I mean? It would cast doubt on, and that the whole existence of the Windsor bloodline is that they come from Princess Sophia. So it's a tricky one. I think that the Windsors are just going to think there's no chance that any of the Sussexes are going to end up on the throne. And so, you know, why worry about taking titles away? Right, let's get to some comments.
Cat's been nagging me for some food.
I think the Duke of Edinburgh title should be passed on to Edward's son. I'm not sure if it will be. I don't know if that's how it works, or if it's one of those titles when he dies, it reverts to the monarch, to the crown. Teresa Bennett, hello. Oh, comments keep skipping so fast. Oh, well, I'm in North Carolina. You do your dusting once a year. Oh, someone did accuse Fiona of going to London and stealing the crown jewels and these tiaras. Yes, you read the comment then, did you?
It is the Spencer one though, isn't it?
It's very similar, very, very similar to the Spencer tiara. But at least the current monarch being born first is not as bad as if his second son were the eldest boy. Exactly. Royal family did so much to pay his way through, make it his soldier. Yes, they certainly built up his image, that's for sure. And it's just really gone from bad to worse, hasn't it? It's been a total journey of self-destruction from what I can see. Oh, there was something else I wanted to show you, especially Meghan supporters, if I can find the Getty site again. Oh, Daily Mail. No, that's right, it was in the Daily Mail. Fine, there's the Daily Mail. I'd like to point something out for the benefit of Meghan supporters and sugars. And the headline's quite funny on this. Those are adverts at the bottom. I'm going to go all the way up to the top of the article. The headline is, I'm having a baby in April, Meghan lets slip. I thought that was quite a funny title. And then there we go. And there are lots of these photographs of the outfit. Just check that's shown properly. Yeah, you can all see that.
Yeah.
Now, what I wanted to point out is, look at this racist, white, middle-aged housewife. Look at all these racist faces. Oh, and there's more racist crowds cheering them. Look at these racist people smiling, all racist. The evil British public, remember? They said the whole country's racist, the Daily Mail's racist, everybody hates them. We're all evil. Oh, look at this. Angry face, not smiling, supportive. In fact, those two women, she's smiling more than anyone else. This lady's smiling. Racist public indeed. Look at this one. Look, this white lady smiling, this white lady smiling, this lady smiling. Couldn't be happier for Harry. Just thought I'd sort of end on this note. Oh, there's Samantha the Panther.
I don't know what really went wrong.
Well, Meghan did. I think she just look at all these racists who turned out on a cold day to welcome them and say hello to them. Can you see how bloody cheeky and rude it is? Look at this racist white lady, white middle-aged lady. Oh, you racist.
I get the impression that Meghan thought, like,
I mean, look at the state.
being in the British royal family will give her a leg up to become an A-lister in Hollywood, whereas she didn't realise that being a member of the royal family is way, way higher than
Look at that
being an
face.
A-lister in Hollywood.
I'm sorry, I've got to stop you there, Graham. That face. I'm not fucking crazy. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm seeing crazy in that face.
Well, she's got to be honest, otherwise she'd just zip it.
I'm totally fucking crazy. That's what I see when I look at that face. And look at it is like she's worried it's going to slip. I think you're right. It could be Kevlar or something. Look, she's got a hand there. Oh God, is it slipping? Oh fuck, is it slipping? Oh, let me hold on tight. I don't want it to drop down my leg.
Just waved and it fell down.
Yeah. Whoa! Whoa! Where did it go?
Get me to the car.
And Harry's face, looking down. I mean, I don't know what happened that day. Look, she's holding on for dear life. She's still holding on for dear life. Don't let it slip.
Look, just hold it there. Go back. Look at that one there. Right. If that is a Kevlar sort of shield, it's got a belly button.
Yeah, they do. They make all kinds of apparatus these
Belly
days.
button,
She's still gripping onto it for dear life there, and she's not letting go of it. Oh, she's let go of it there. She's got a belt. That's risky. Actually, that one with the belt looks different to that one with the belt.
No,
She's still gripping hold of it there. I think that's what people were talking about. It wasn't that people were talking about her cradling a moon bump. People were like, is she holding it up because it might fall? And it was definitely, something was slipping there because by the time she got to the car, it was all the way down the right leg.
Well, I'm sure there's a logical explanation.
Yes, I would imagine there's a logical explanation. Look, I mean, look there. That to me looks like there's virtually no bump.
And it doesn't appear to have slipped at that point.
I said it before, unless it's got air in it, you know. Shh, shh, shh.
It's deflated. Do you remember those bras that women used to have? They could pump them up. And they get on the aeroplane and they used to go, and they'd explode. Deflation flights because
I've opened the wrong window there. Right, let's go back to see what other pictures they've got there. No, she's still grip of death. I mean, even there with the coat, that doesn't look like much of a bump in comparison to, unless she was arching her back, you know, to stick it out more. That's a possibility. I think what's happened is they have caused and created so much privacy and secrecy and mystery around the whole thing. If only someone had told her about James II and his dodgy bedpan birth and said, this is a hot potato. Look at the Daily Mail there. What a picture. That's actually a Getty picture. I've seen that on the Getty website, but it says PA there. But I mean, how indelicate to photograph a woman's stomach. Like that, zooming on, click. Right on a lady's stomach. Oh, look at these racist white women, racist middle-aged women. Look at them smiling. They're not really smiling, they're hiding their unconscious bias, prejudice, aren't they?
Anyway, come on.
Yeah, well, and that's the end of her, isn't it?
Where's the last one with it slipped?
Oh, that's not on the Daily Mail, that's also been removed.
Oh, it's been removed, is it?
So they've only got our word for it, that it was ever on Getty, but I swear to God it was, I know it was. So that is just about enough for tonight. Lots to think about. You can play on Google Trends and you can go and look. I will put the links to all the...
And you answer some questions.
Oh yeah, are there any questions?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I always thought Meghan was just so out of her comfort zone and I had to put on an act when she was in the royal family. She's always been like that. She was totally shocked at the reception she got from the people. In fact, I think it might have been that day in Birkenhead. Didn't she use that in the Netflix show and say that was the day some woman said to her, "How could you treat your father like that?"
Can you get rid of this picture now? I don't think we've been there. There we go. That's better. Teresa Bennett. Did we figure out who the lady in the brown dress was?
Outside the church. I think it was Ashley, Samantha's daughter. That's who it reminded me of. Once I saw her on the Netflix thing.
Maybe.
There were so many among us who remember only too well images of the king's second son falling down, discombobulated in gutters and attacking Perhaps we forgave him then, but no more. No weight gain in her face, chest. Red and purple was trying to emulate Diana. Yeah, and I didn't like those colours on Diana. They're pretty harsh, aren't they? Hiya, Joanne. David Murphy. When she wasn't holding up the appendage, she was creeping like a mad woman. Yes, I remember that as well. I do remember that. She had absolutely no idea what to do and was too proud to ask for help. Her narcissism took over. I have a big cat. I was dog sitting.
My cat's got the knocks. She's glaring at me.
Oh, she wants her brush.
And she turns around and look at us.
So what will happen when the big reveal occurs next spring, according to Lady C? I'm not sure that there is going to be a big reveal. I mean, I'm not sure Lady C actually said it would. I think what she was saying was that the merchandising of Archie, that was the way I understood what Lady C was, that the merchandising of Archie and Lily will begin in the spring. Although I might have misunderstood her. I can't see the surrogate story coming out. I just can't see it coming out. I think it will go down in history as one of those things like the bedpan. And it will always be one of those sort of legendary, legend has it. It will go down like that. And unfortunately, it will stalk and haunt and follow those two children, whoever they are, wherever they've come from. Did anyone ever explain the statement on the royal website about surrogacy? No. Lady C phoned and they just said no comment, didn't they? I mean, that was weird. Kensington Palace actually tweeted and said they'd been delivered a son of a surrogate. That was on the official Kensington Palace. And then they took it down and they said, oopsie, sorry, that was a mistake.
Did they?
Oh, surrogate sounds so much like birth. I'm not sure they even have letters of the alphabet.
I mean, loads of women have surrogate babies. Yeah.
But not if you're a Windsor. And that's the difficult part.
Right.
But I mean, even if they had said, look, we've got fertility issues, and the Queen could have said, well, the children will still get titles, they just won't be in the line of succession.
Lady C said she remembered seeing it, but it got taken down.
Yeah. Lady C has said stuff like this before. Well, Kuki, I think she hears stuff because aristocrats, they do overhear stuff, and they do word gets around.
Servants, you know what they're like.
Yeah, because Burrell said in his book, Paul Burrell, that what they were told as staff is if they heard any of the principal members of the family coming, they had to hide in a cupboard. Well, I thought, what a recipe for disaster, because the family members won't know they're there, and they could be saying all sorts of things. And Paul actually said, you'd be shocked what you overhear. But that was the rule. What moron made that rule? I mean, that's a security.
Then you're not allowed to speak.
At some point, someone will get these kids' DNA, but who will believe it? Who will believe it? Even if they took the blood live on TV, people would go, oh, sleight of hand, they've taken someone else's DNA. They wouldn't believe it. They wouldn't believe it. No, Harry and Meghan have really nailed their cross for their kids. They have set a legacy for their kids with bizarre, weird behaviour, secrecy, strange bumps, up, down bumps, swoosh, swoosh bumps. They've done it now. Privacy of godparents, privacy of this, privacy of that. And I see Sugars quite frequently say to me, mind your business. Fuck off, it is our business. It's a British royal family, and like it or not, Meghan is a member of our British royal family. You mind your business, sugars.
Yeah. And no one will believe them. I mean, whether they've got kids or not, no one's going to believe them.
No.
You know, there'll always be doubt there, won't there? I mean, I don't know if they've got kids or not. I don't care, honestly care. But they do. And if they are for real, you know, no one's going to, oh, are you sure?
I think what's more likely to come out as a story at some point are when NDAs expire. People who have alleged bullying, that's going to be stories. Any cutting tape that Netflix have that hit the floor of Meghan maybe having a tantrum, maybe she was hot mic'd, a bit rude to someone, threw something, that is a future far more likely than surrogacy or them losing titles. Diva Duchess, Meghan the Bully, paying for trolls, is saying they want online safety, and yet future stories and scandals that I think are going to come out are they were trolling people themselves. I honestly believe that those are the stories that are going to come out. I think that the surrogacy ones, they're just not going. The press is still male dominated, and a lot of the men in the press, I don't think, would want to touch a lady issue as they see it. Would you really, as a man?
I'd never want to be on loose women, that's for sure.
Because they scare you, don't they? Especially Colin Nolan and Denise Welch.
Ask Trevor Cole, he's been on with a load of women and they've eaten him alive.
Has he been on Loose Women?
No, not.
Oh, I'd love to see Trevor on Loose Women. That would be awesome.
He's been on lives with loads of women.
It'd be full of beep, beep, beep.
Never take women on, that's my advice.
Yeah, Trevor's gotten caught.
Go into that pub with the lads.
Trevor's gotten caught in the odd cat fight between two women before now.
It's very easily done. There's just too many minds to step on.
If nothing is settled during Charles's rule, William will definitely get to the truth and won't tolerate any shenanigans. Yeah, I agree. I think William will be, when it's his turn, he'll be a lot harsher with both of them, and I think they'll just be cut dead. Out. That's it. Finished. 2 days after the purple-red fetal collapse of the moon bump is when Meghan became mentally ill, wanting to end her life. Yeah, allegedly. And let's not forget, Piers Morgan basically lost his job because he said he didn't believe her. Who knew? And I think as the days go by, more and more people become more and more sceptical. Someone said there's a South Park Part 2 coming out of the worldwide privacy turf. There's certainly enough material for it. Who said they had out the story? It said address line of succession. They could be cut for never living in GB. Yeah. I think I don't know the rules with councillors of state if they have to live in England or just Britain, somewhere in the British Isles. I will never refer to those children as prince or princess until we are shown rock solid evidence that Meghan gave birth to them. You see, a lot of people feel like that, and what has created that is, as I say, this weird behaviour. Hello, Ralph. Kay Walsh, in 20-25 years, if King Charles III stays in good health. I must be interrupting on a private conversation now. It's good to see you, Ralph. Ralph loved Our Late Majesty and loved Princess Diana. That's where he's coming from. Not such a fan of King Charles and Camilla. Not such a fan, I don't think, of Catherine and William. And he sticks up for Meghan and Harry a lot, just so you know. We're not all think exactly the same way. Hi, Moj.
It's okay to have a different opinion.
Definitely.
Sure.
All views are welcome. All of the royal births, except Meghan's, have had observers. Yes, when the signs were put out, no doctor's signatures on Meghan's. Why? You're right. That's a huge thing, isn't it? Now, maybe she wanted to protect the privacy of the medical team, but that in itself creates mystique and mystery, and then a legend is born, isn't it?
You want to assert.
Do you want to sit here and read some of the comments? I'm just going to go and make another cup of tea quickly. Oh, we bought some clocks.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a bunch of clocks, a job lot of them. For future reference, they're actually glass, not marble. And I bought 8 of them cheap. And so we're going to mount them on the wall. 4 arrived today and 4 arrived
Los
on Wednesday.
Angeles, New York Times, London,
Lisbon, Israel, Moscow, various places in Australia because they have many time zones. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yes.
Somehow.
Why not?
Yeah, we can read a few of those.
Just buy a big box of batteries.
If you think you can handle pregnancy questions, Graham, I would have thought you were more than qualified.
Can I handle pregnancy questions? Yes, I've had 4 babies, and it was really easy. I was even there for the birth on 2 of them.
Oh, great. Neither of mine. Oh, yes, you were for one of mine.
Benji.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Do not tell them the details.
I won't, but I was there when young Samantha was born, but Lady Faith. But they made me wait outside in the corridor until the baby arrived, and then they let me in afterwards. I just heard all the screams from outside. Anyway, I'm not going to go there.
What you can tell them, because Harry reckons that he was there for Archie's birth and he took loads of the gas, and he has been criticised. So if you're brave enough, you could tell them what you did when you were in the hospital.
What, with the gas?
Yes.
Well, it's attached to the wall, and she's there giving it that with the gas in the air. When she was like, I said, give it a go. It's all right, that, isn't it? Being a typical scouser, you know what I mean? I just had loads of the gas in there and was like, high as a kite. I thought, yeah, that's all right, that. Hey, shoot me. Right. That kettle's very loud. It's drowning me out. Anyway, where are we? Deborah, Egan's birth did not have official observers who could swear. Well, you'd think a royal baby would have an official thing and a birth certificate and everything, wouldn't you? Everyone else does. You need 24-hour clocks to define AM and PM. Otherwise, we're getting a right mess. Well, we in pilot world have a thing called UTC, which is Greenwich Mean Time, but it's a posh version of it. And it never changes, it just stays on UTC, it doesn't matter where you are in the world or what the season is, it does not change. So I used to have 2 watches when I'd fly because you used to have to fly on UTC, you'd fill all the flight plans in UTC, so you had to know what the time was in UTC. And you're right, the 24-hour clock makes it easier for sure.
I'll have a thing back in.
Although he could be in Japan, you think, is it AM or PM? You don't know, so you need a watch that says 24 hours for sure, right. I'm wondering if divorce will happen for H&M. Yeah, I reckon so, but I don't know. I mean, I haven't got a crystal ball or nothing like that, but I can't see it lasting because she's so unpopular. And she's dragging him down. I mean, everybody sort of accepted him because he was in the family, wasn't he? He was
Diana's boy.
Diana's
And Charles's
boy.
boy.
And even though he was a pisshead and he was always on drugs and not doing anything in particular, but he was the prince, wasn't he? He was a bit of a lad, you know, he dressed as a Nazi. And who cares?
Don't think that's something to
But I think
very funny.
I think, well, everybody makes mistakes. But she's dragging him down big time for sure, I think.
Yeah.
Glinda the Good.
Hi, Glinda. I was going to mention, I've forgotten the lady's name, but I see the actress who played Camilla in The Windsors very sadly died recently. I loved her.
Yesterday it was announced.
The day before, I think. I absolutely loved her as an actress. I can't remember her name, but she's one of those household faces. You knew her when you saw her. And I have to say, although The Windsors is an absolute piss-take programme, it is firstly very funny. And secondly, I was really not very keen on Camilla. until I saw the Windsors, and that lady made me really warm to her. I don't know about you. It was a very fun portrayal.
What was he called? Harry Enfield.
Harry Enfield has been doing.
The series is
King
called
Charles.
The Windsors, right? And it's on Netflix, and it's a piss take comedy sketch, and we watched it loads of times. Didn't we?
I thought it was genius.
Crying
Hilarious.
after.
And they were very affectionate and playful with them all. And the character she played of Camilla was nothing like Camilla, but it just, I don't know, it just made me really think about things from Camilla's point of view in a crazy way. And I'm really, really sad that she died, actually. So I just thought I'd mention that.
What do you think of Family Guy clip?
I haven't seen it. I've never been into Family Guy. I've never been able to get into it.
Yeah, Rohani's cough.
Yeah, she was great. I must look up her name, actually. I think it was a Welsh name, wasn't it? Had Hayden Gwynn. Is that the Welsh name? It sounds it. Oh, she's a fantastic actress. Fantastic. Brilliant.
I only knew her from The Windsors.
No, I've seen her in lots of things. She's a brunette.
Yeah,
She just looked so different as
but
Camilla with the sort of
hysterical as Camilla. She was.
Crystal Carrington wig. I loved the one where she was always bullying Prince Edward, and she's got him to dig up the Magna Carta and switch it for a fake Magna Carta. And she said, if you mention this anywhere, I'll bury you in several different locations. And she was just wonderful the way she did it with the lines.
And the 3 degrees.
Do you know, but it makes me want to sign up for Netflix again. I'm just waiting for them to dump Harry and Meghan, and then I'm signing back up for Netflix. They keep emailing me, offering me cheaper to come back.
He said to Prince Charles, he said, I'm the son of one of the 3 degrees. You went with her.
That's right.
And he went, hey, which one were you? Which one was your mother?
All right, let's
the one in the middle. I was crying after.
Stop it. You're getting on thin ice, man. Thin ice.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I want to get a print of that Duchess of Portsmouth with the little girl in the pearls holding the coracle of pearls. I just love that. It's the sort of painting that my great aunt would have had in her flat. Right, the royal website, yes. Let's talk about that, because that should be updated. Harry and Meghan are not working members of the royal family. Why are they included on as supporting the monarchy when they are clearly not? That needs to be changed. And there is a chance, as like a ton of people have copied in Kensington Palace and the royal family on X, there's a chance there's at least one member of staff who might listen. And I agree with Lady C, the more people who write to Buckingham Palace, and you should write to Buckingham Palace, whichever member of the royal family, because it will find its way to them. Buck House is working business. That's the office. So, Fiona, please, is it possible to have Royal Grift on a live? Oh, I wish. She's awesome. I wouldn't even know how to contact her because she's big, very big. She is absolutely awesome. But I think she's really a standalone act, actually. I don't think I've ever seen her do a live.
9:53. We're going to knock it on the head.
Because it would have been 2 hours.
10 o'clock, that'll be 2 hours.
I knew this would be a long one.
So we get the last of the questions in.
There's one from Clara at the bottom. And why did they release a statement, re-Israel, straight after King Charles and the Prince of Wales? Yeah, and their statement was a lot more ambiguous, wasn't it? A lot more ambiguous. Don't forget, when Meghan was interviewed years ago by Larry King, he said to her, what would you say is the country, the worst country in the world for women's rights and equality? And she went, and he said, I'm guessing Saudi Arabia, one of those countries. And she jumped to their defense and went, oh, I don't think so. We should respect their culture.
Didn't they buy us some fabulous diamond earrings or something?
There's definitely some connections there. Yacht, I mean, what? I can't imagine.
Yeah. But women couldn't even drive cars in Saudi Arabia.
Walk 15 paces behind your husband.
And got stoned to death with a
Yeah,
rude or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not about to criticise the Arab world in any way.
Looking forward to seeing your videos, Foxy. You're going to love Foxy's videos, especially the story about Robert the cat.
Check out Foxy313.
Well, keep it royal. Keep it royal says, the law should be changed to say any royal that doesn't have royal doctors present at the birth cannot be in the line of succession or have titles, backdate it before. I don't know if they can do it in retrospect, but yes, you would think that would be an essential thing. I mean, that's the whole point of the notice board. Whiskey, yeah, oh God, I brought this bottle of stuff, I'll show you, from the boat. We haven't touched it. It's been on the boat, I think, since we bought the boat, actually. We've never.
It was all right, actually, it soothed it. I wouldn't have touched it normally.
Horrible, Graham, absolutely.
But I've had a cold and I've had a cough and I've had a sore throat and I'm a Rillo or something. It was all right, actually. I eat cough medicine, it's great.
I mean, we must have. No, I don't think we did buy it. This was just in the kitchen. It's been there for years, and I got a cooking brandy. I said to him last night, "Oh, I've got a bit of brandy. That'll do your throat good." And it's amaretto, which is a sort of a liqueur, and it's when I can't stand sweet things.
As a cough medicine, it's great. Honestly, I
it actually tastes like cough medicine.
I don't think it's particularly high. What's the percentage? 15%.
It looks like it's got a little royal crest there.
A royal crest. Well, so it's so Smirnoff vodka, isn't it?
That's the King of Spain drinks it.
I don't. Yeah. Grifty's Head and Shoulders, the best channel at the moment.
Yes, well, I mean, all of her videos are top notch. They're top shelf, and the amount of information she puts in. Quite often, I'm just talking about my opinions, which I find quite easy, just yapping my head off. But if, like, for example, the live tonight, I've taken all day thinking, what order shall I put this in? How can I explain this? And I find it really difficult, actually. And I'm hoping the Royal Grift will pick up on things like Google Trends, because I think that'll be right up her street. In fact, I bet she's on it and looking into certain searches to suss out what's been going on. I mean, don't you find it extraordinary that there was people searching Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, all those years ago?
I do try honey rosies. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, I'll get you some honey.
I've run out. I gave up sugar.
Mm.
When I found out I had cancer, and because sugar's really bad for you if you've got. Anyway, switched over to honey and it was brilliant, but we've run out at the moment. I have to get some more. I thought I bought some more in Spain, but it was concentrated sugar, like molasses or something horrible. It probably made me worse. I don't know.
Oh, there's loads of comments. You've been pausing.
No, I'm sorry, I'm behind.
Right. Yeah, we've got 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, not long to go, guys. Amaretto. It's best for making bartenders root beer. Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't like root beer either.
Foxy313. This is Foxy313, guys. Check out Foxy's channel. He's a real-time Sussex video.
Come on, keep going on the comments.
Films loads of stuff in Sussex. If you want to know what real Sussex is like, check out Foxy's channel.
We've still got Meghan in the green room. Oh. Don't remove it, because I'm going to end it with that.
Okay.
I should have used that as the...
I'm going to get to the bottom.
The
I'm
image.
missing loads of people. Look.
Yes, I know.
I'm making a dash for the bottom.
Oh, is it almonds? Oh, right. Okay. Shaz says Poppy is talking to Poppy Fields.
You make great videos. Who, me? Someone else.
And Foxy.
Foxy makes brilliant videos. Yeah.
He does.
And
Imogen. Is this new comments?
Imogen.
Fiona, have you sent your... No, I haven't. Not yet. Because firstly, I didn't do it at the time because of the anniversary of Diana's death and the anniversary of Her Late Majesty's death. And then after that, more and more and more sugar information has been coming forward. I mean, for example, the Lesotho stuff. And so every time I get down to writing the letter, and I've handwritten about 3 different versions, more information comes forth. So, no, I haven't yet. Meghan was only known to tell the truth once. I am such a fraud.
Well, that's just the point, Ellie, because nobody really knows for sure, do they? There's so much doubt there.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't doubt William. William's got kids. You don't doubt any of them for a moment.
Actually, a lot of the sugars have started saying, you know.
So why do we doubt Harry and Meghan?
Well, for a start, the Cambridge children, we see them. We see them all the
We've
time.
seen pictures of them. They're constantly featuring them, and you know.
Gertie has had.
doctors of
Well,
science
Queen
certificate.
Gertie, I haven't seen Gertie for ages. She's another one who's had problems. Again,
Where is she?
well, she was demonetised. She's still got a channel. She hasn't been on, well, not that I've seen. I haven't had any notifications. And again, she was talking and referring to the moon bumps. I mean, we all run the gauntlet when we mention the fact there were irregularities, shall we say, YouTube.
Well, I think it's probably, like I say, a stamp-proof cover of some description, which would.
It's a polite way of saying, what's up with your bump? Why does it keep changing size, shape, and position?
Well, if it fell down, it would definitely get smaller, the bump, wouldn't it? Trevor's still here, look. I thought you'd gone, Trevor. I thought you'd abandoned us, but no, he's still here.
I firmly believe they lied about Lilibet. Do you want to come up, Trevor, for a last-minute chat?
And we could go on a bit
and you
longer.
can tell the people about, because you've had a few developments, haven't you, in the last few days with, well, I'm not going to say because it's your secret stuff that Trevor's setting up in the background.
So if Trevor wants to come up, we'll stay
I'll
on
put
a
the
bit
link.
longer.
I'll put the link in the chat if you want to.
If not, don't worry about it, mate. It's fine. You might not be in the mood.
He might not be, but if he wants to, because he might have something he wants to say. In the meantime, I got to put this just back up just for a minute. Goodness me, what the hell is going on there?
Meow. Oh,
here we go. Oh, it's Harry. We've got Prince Harry in the chat in the green room.
no way.
I wasn't prepared for this. Give me a second to fix my camera. I was just sitting chilling, reading all the shite. Sorry, I'm not saying subscribers write shite. I'm just saying I was reading a lot of shite. Hold on.
I can't believe you don't believe in aliens. Oh, he's gone. He's unplugged his own camera. Get some more wine. And you can ask him about the Battle of Boyne or whatever it was.
Battle of the Boyne.
And you said he knows all about James II, so he'd better, hadn't he?
I reckon he will. Yeah, he's back. There we go.
What's happened here? I don't even know what's going on.
Oh, like, you went all black and disappeared.
Maybe I went all black. How dare you?
It's true. Ask everybody.
I've no idea.
636 people watching.
I'm trying to fix my phone. What's going on here? Have you got me?
Yeah. Yeah, you're looking good.
How come when I turn it this way, I'm not on the screen? I'll have to just...
Trevor, we can all see you, mate. We can all see you. You're looking good.
Okay. Well, I'm always trying. There we go. I'm a mess, but I'm here.
What are you drinking tonight, mate?
I'm having a glass of red wine, actually.
Oh, very good. I'll drink to that. I'm on the San Miguel. I'll drink to that.
I was just chilling.
So have you watched the whole of the live, or have you come and gone?
I've watched most of it, mate. I've watched most of it. I was trying to, while I was watching you, I was dealing with a little ordeal I'm having. Basically, my guest for Wednesday night, which I'm a little bit upset about, has pulled out. I was on the phone to him there. He spoke to me about it. He goes, Trev, I'm not allowed. This is what he said. I'm not allowed to speak to you on Wednesday night because.
Who says?
Who
says?
My guest that I had on Wednesday night, the Special Forces guy.
Yeah, but who says he's not allowed to speak to you?
His publisher and.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So basically, he was going to tell me loads of stuff on Wednesday night, and he happened to, because it was advertised, his publisher found out and says, "Do not speak to Trev yet." because this will ruin the launch of his new book. It'll ruin the launch. So,
Fair enough.
so
Yeah.
I mean, he's done nothing but apologize to me all day. However, I've been looking at other guests. I mean, I'm trying to keep my guests quiet. I don't want anyone to know, because the minute you let people know who Trevor's going to speak to, trolls will start fucking attacking him. Excuse my French. So
yeah, just keep it a secret, keep it a surprise.
I know.
I've always been very impressed that Trevor has Bear Grylls in his WhatsApp group. No offense, Graham, but I love Bear Grylls. I love him.
Yeah. The thing is,
Right.
I would never ask Bear to come on because you know why? See, the minute you say this, and this is I don't know how anyone else feels, but this is how I live my life. I'm humbled to have Bear as a friend. And the last thing I want is to sort of put him in a position where I'm asking him to do something, because I'm asking him to do something for my benefit, and I don't want to use friends like that. So it's nice that every so often, whenever I'm getting shit on me, whenever I get shit, he'll he'll put something out on Instagram or something nice to say, Trev, fucking ignore them. I mean, he does, and I've got loads of stuff here from him, which he won't give me anything because he doesn't need to, but he'll send stuff for my son, which is nice. So
Yeah.
I don't want to use him. I did send a message earlier on to Chris Ryan, and he sort of responded, but it's hard to get people like that to sort of give up half an hour, and like I'm a firm believer that, and this is how I live my life, Fiona. If you text me and I haven't responded within 2 hours, it's because I'm an arsehole. That's how I see things. That's how I live my life. So basically, if someone texts you and you've seen it and haven't bothered to respond,
Right.
then that means that you don't think highly of that person. And that's how I see it.
Or it means you're really busy at the moment.
Or
you haven't got a signal, or there can be a lot of things.
Yeah, because
there's a few things.
My phone doesn't even ring, let alone give notifications loads of times.
Well, there's okay. There's a few reasons why someone
And
will not.
I can't believe you don't believe in aliens. Those aliens, right? They're there. It was on Sky News today.
I had emails.
Did you hear Kay Burley go, so what should we do?
I had emails about that, Fiona.
Question.
Go on,
I had an email from a guy called Michael. Sent me an email going, well, Trevor, I seem like you called me out tonight. You called me out as if you don't believe me that I've seen these aliens. And I was like, go and boil your head. Go and boil your head.
I think it'd be awesome. I just know this is the year before Christmas. They're going to come and say hello, and I really hope they come. I would like to get one on alive.
I've been on the UFO trail at Bent Horses, you know.
So have I.
They've actually got a model of the UFO in the woods.
Graham, it's 800 meters away. I see it all the time.
Do a video. Go and see it and touch it. Lick it.
Do you want me to? It's a big metal
black thing. I remember it, mate. I remember watching it on the news.
I totally believe all of that stuff. Do you know, when I have a fag in the garden at night, I look for UFOs. And I think I misidentified the planet Venus once.
Or Saturn or something.
Right.
Venus.
I got the app,
right.
Star.
Listen, just
stop.
Saturn
or something,
please stop, Graham. If there was real aliens, why haven't they taken pricks away with them? You know? Why haven't they just went...
Because they walk amongst us. A lot of them look human.
It could be
so you don't know. You
time.
don't know, do you?
Idiots walk amongst us.
Absolutely. My old man saw a UFO.
Did he?
He was in the Air Force. Have I told you this story before? He was.
You did?
Yeah. Three RAF planes, and they saw it. They saw it, and they reported it, and they said, like, don't say anything. Keep it to yourself. Anyway.
Just someone else.
Sure.
He's got to put his tiara on.
Has he got a tiara?
I don't know, probably. Oh, fuck me, he's got a crown. That's excellent, most awesome. I can just see the stills on X, on the troll accounts.
There you go. King Arthur.
I love that. Where did you get that?
I got it off Diana. No, I mean, there's a woman No,
You
listen.
stole it from the palace when you were there.
Listen. Don't jump to conclusions. There's a lady across the street called Diana.
Did you see the picture of King Charles II dressed in a little ball gown as a baby?
I'm not sure, honestly. I've seen today's been a day where everything's came at me. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I was watching your live with matchsticks in my fucking eyes like this. Jesus Christ.
You'd have to rewind it so I watch it again. She's got a million boxes up there. It'll take her out.
I've seen the research that she's here. She's in the room. I've seen the research that Fiona's done and how all the bots work, and I'm stunned at that. I really am. But whenever you talk about subscribers and the fact that people can buy subscribers, I spoke to might have been the other week, about 2 female YouTubers that have bought loads of subscribers to lift themselves up.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd think if they get caught, they get thrown off, wouldn't you?
Well, let's hope so. And then they can stop getting on like bitches.
She's going to get the picture up now.
What do you make of that, Trevor? That is Charles II as a little boy.
I'm going to be honest. From here, he looks Korean. I can't really see.
That's a Cinderella ball gown on a little boy.
Wow.
You don't dress your little boy like that, do you?
You dress a little girl like that. What must he have thought when he grew up and saw that?
he must
he stared and wanted to burn people for witchcraft and things.
That's crazy.
I was telling her about 1690 earlier.
Oh yeah, apparently you're an expert historian on James II.
He's grown up with it. He's been tormented.
Well, I know 1690 in the Battle of the Boyne, which caused a lot of shit over Northern Ireland. Of course, yeah, King William. Yes,
that's it.
There was those loads of battles over here. But you know what? And I will say this. I am from Northern Ireland. I live in England. And there's 2 things that get me. 1690, Battle of Boyne, the rise of Protestantism, loyalism. And there's also the 1966 England World Cup. So, which is not that far, which when we think about it, 1966 wasn't that long ago. But I hear a lot of people in Northern Ireland go, oh, I wish the English would shut up about 1966. And then I go, oh, hello, 1690. Jesus Christ. Come on, let it go. Let it go. So dates are important to different people. The most important date to me is, I think it's the 25th of December this year. You know what's happening this year, 25th of December?
Is it bonfire night?
It's the night that Harry moves back to England and puts in Meghan. Sorry, I think that might have been a dream. I don't know.
You never
you know what? Until today, I didn't know really any history about the royal family between James I and George I. I didn't know. I really am.
In England, we forgot about 1690 by about 1692.
A lot of stuff happened everywhere.
I've been educated today. I watched a few lives today. Someone prompted me, I'll tell you after, but someone prompted me, Trevor, go and watch Meghan Mole's. I like Meghan Mole. I'm just saying that. She's
had difficulties recently, I know that much.
All I heard was, Trevor, please go and watch Meghan Mole's live she did last night with Paula Makatakovich. So I went and watched it. And I was stunned. And I just thought, this is my opinion, I just thought, you drama queen bitch. That's all I thought. That was in my head. Okay, I know I've said it out loud, and I don't mean Meghan's Mole. And I'll tell you why. She did a live with Meghan's Mole, and Paula accused Sue Smith. Sue Smith said about, it was me, Paula, and because of that, I lost 700 subscribers, and I don't think what she's done is good. I'm like, really? I mean, wow. I mean, I just thought, wow, really? I mean, I was a little bit taken back by that, because whenever Sue Smith did her live or did her video or whatever, she didn't mention Paula M. She just said someone called Paul or something, and she clarified it. So I got a little bit annoyed about that. I don't like how certain YouTubers use other YouTubers for clickbait and for likes, and I've been the brunt of it before with her. I don't like how she goes about things. I don't like people that make up stories. Right? There's enough shit out there with the royal family without making stuff up. There's enough stuff out there. So whenever people make stuff up about the royal family just for clickbait, I just get pissed off of it and just think, really, you're not a YouTuber. You are not. People shouldn't watch you.
I do enjoy her lives, though. I enjoy her thought process, and she's so energetic and thinks so.
You mean
fast.
Megan? You mean Megan?
No, Paula.
Oh, well, Megan's Wall.
You can see her energy and her mind is thinking.
What
like
can I come out with now?
Out loud.
Well,
and I like that.
I like Megan's Wall. She's interesting. She is interesting. But I'm gonna. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'll be honest. I don't like YouTubers that are full of shit and make stuff up for clickbait. And Paula is full of shit. And you saying that you like her, I mean, come on, Fiona, you've got a brain. She's full of shit.
I like it because she does a lot of her opinion. She says a lot. I think this and I think that.
But her opinion, she tries to make her opinion out to be a fact. It's not fact. It's bullshit. I mean, anyway, I'll move on from it. I don't want to.
I don't know, mate. I'm staying on the fence because I don't watch it.
Maybe it's a woman thing.
It might be a woman thing. Women are very intelligent. I'm going to say that.
Because a lot of the sugars accuse me of stating facts, and I go out of my way to explain I'm not an expert and I might be full of shit, and people really do need to double check everything I say because I mispronounce things. I get things back to front, upside down.
Women are better. If I'm honest, women are better at a lot of things than men, and that's why a woman can't have a penis. But I'm just saying that women are better than men at a lot of things.
I've got a bigger one than you.
We have. We go straight out and say it. Now I know tomorrow I'll have emails. Oh, Trevor, you said this. You shouldn't have said that. But you know, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, you're a very straightforward. You're a straight shooter.
Dale Plummer said, "Make of the coming war. We'll be mates that will have to go." Trevor, what do you make of the coming war? I don't know what that means. Which war? You mean about the one that's happening now?
It could actually escalate into really quite a big thing, couldn't it? Because I mean, Israel is saying they're going to go for the head of the snake. Iran.
Well, Dale, that's a very good question. First of all, there's Ukraine, which is happening right now. I don't want to. It's just bullshit, but. The British Army cannot get involved in anything. We've got no money. The manpower's low. The morale's low. There's issues in the MOD. There's issues with the general. The generals are split. Half are saying stay out. The woke ones are saying getting involved. And the reason why the woke generals want to get involved, because they'll not be in the front line. They'll send the troops to their death. I think Ukraine has skinned us. As a nation, we are massively in debt, and we cannot afford to get involved in anything to do with Israel. Israel will, and they have issued a warning, Israel has said to Iran, if Hezbollah get involved, we will military strike your country. Bust. And they don't lie. Israel will do it. Mossad and Israel's spies they're going to carry out the same thing they carried out in 1972 Munich thing. They're going to send people off and they'll eliminate everyone that was involved. And they don't care whether those people are living here. Now, what the UK did in a good way was, Trevor, you could have Megan's Mole on your channel. Yes, I could. I think she's a great YouTuber. I like her. Anyway, other question was, it was to do with Israel at the minute. Israel will send people to the UK now because in the last couple of days we've noticed that the journalists in the UK have actually highlighted an ex-Hamas commander living in North London.
Right.
He will probably be killed due to what's going on now. They'll go around wiping people out. It's nothing. I mean, I'm not saying that we don't already know common sense, but that's what will probably happen. And a Hamas commander living in a council flat, and he got it 113,000 price below the asking price. Don't know how that happened. It's quite strange. There's too much going on, and I don't think we are operationally effective enough to fight on two fronts. I don't think we can do it.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think we're just going to be support forces.
Yeah.
Foxy's trying to come up. I've got you in the green room, Foxy.
The camera's not on,
your
Foxy.
camera's not on, and I don't think your microphone is either.
Yeah.
So can you check them? But I've got you waiting in the green room, Foxy.
Thing is, Trevor, yeah, I mean, I know Iran definitely funding Hamas, and so's Qatar. Now, I don't know if Qatar are funding Hamas with the intention of them buying weapons and things, but they've definitely been funding the Palestinians. And whether that money's been turned around to buy weapons.
Well, what surprised me
know.
was the hostages that were released. Apparently, Biden brokered a deal with the Qataris.
Yeah. They've obviously got a lot of influence.
Who've openly said we've been funding Hamas for years. What the fuck?
Yeah. They should help some of the
That's a bit
some
shit
of the
story, isn't it?
refugees, shouldn't they?
Straight away, I was like, what the hell has it got to do with Qatar?
They could fly them.
And then
back
he
to
said,
Qatar.
oh, well, they've been giving money to Hamas.
They're
That's a big deal. Well, I think that's a big deal.
Well, they've always supported the Muslim Brotherhood, haven't they? And
A lot of these terrorist organizations live in places like Dubai and Qatar because they know that the West will never strike Qatar or Dubai because it's where the billionaires are. So the US and the UK will never strike there. So that's where they know they're safe.
Yeah.
The only thing that could happen is, and I don't think we would ever do it, is if we were to say we are stop buying your crude oil, that would make them panic to hand over terrorists.
Yeah. OPEC and that, yeah. But they're very cozy with, especially Saudi Arabia, the British, and Oman, places like that, United Arab Emirates. These are all sorts of so-called friendly states.
Right. Kara's just said there.
Yes, I was just reading that. Actually, I'd like to say I'm pretty sure Israel withdrew from the Strip in 2005 and gave it to the Palestinian people. So there is no occupation there. And as a way of saying thank you, they cut holes in the net, went in, kidnapped and murdered.
Well, I want to point out here, and please, Kara, this is not a dig at you. This is a dig at everyone. And I want everyone just to fucking give their head a fucking wobble. Give it a shake. Because you know what? Every single country on this planet has been stolen from someone else. Everywhere. Kuwait, Iraq, Northern Ireland, America, Canada. See this here, let's stop at the occupation. Listen, we've all been occupied by other forces. We've all had land taken off us. This is how the world moves. And I get sick to death of people saying about things like, oh, Trevor, and I want to go down this road. People say things like, oh, Trevor, well, we need to stop using plastic. You know, it's ruining the sea. Listen, this is a planet. This bullshit that I see every day and it's put out, but we get taxed. Soon we'll be getting taxed on this. This planet has taken ice age, sandstorms, snowstorms, meteor attacks. It's had meteorites smash the place. It's had corrosion, erosion, different types of things happen. The ice age. Aluminum cans and bags is nothing. I mean, and as people say, oh, with the land, they've taken the land. We've all had land taken off us. Australia, Aborigines, the Indians, everyone's had something taken from them. So see this here excuse of they're taking the land off us. Well, I'm being serious. So Northern Ireland was taken off Ireland. I know there's been battles here, but you know what? Unless people learn to negotiate and compromise, it's just going to be war. All this is two egos that can't sit down and have a chat.
I've said it all along. You know, people can live in peace together if they want to.
Yeah.
It's when they don't want to that's when the problems occur.
Here's a problem which I'm seeing now right across the world, and this is this. So if you are pro-Palestine, well, not only do I think you're scum, but I'm just going to go through it, right? So I am seeing pro-Palestine hatred parades. They're not demonstrations. They're inciting hatred. And the one thing that I don't like is this. These pro-Palestinians left Palestine. They left Israel. They decided to come to the West. They escaped persecution. They escaped Hamas and atrocities. They came to the West for a better life. And what's the first thing they do when they get here? They stand up for the scum they've just left. And you know what? I will be honest, for anyone that's watching this, if you really like Palestine that much, fuck off back there. That's the truth of it. Because you know what? Anti-Semitism has risen in the UK this year alone, and they're saying by 1,300%. And the worst thing is, it's not by British citizens. I'm being serious. It's not by French citizens. It's not by German citizens, right? The anti-Semitism comes from the people that escaped that persecution to settle in our country. Now, so all these pro-Palestine...
I am definitely a believer in when in Rome. For example, we live in Spain, so we really feel we're guests in another country. We wouldn't dream of criticising their cultures, their ways. They allow us to live in their country, and we love them.
We don't go out and tell them what they're doing is wrong.
No.
Yeah.
But it's good in a way that these people can protest.
Yes.
Because that's what our democracy is all about. Inciting hatred is something different. And there are people sucked in with the lies and the grooming. It's political grooming. And people do get sucked into it. And they do believe the lies.
You're absolutely right, Trevor, that it is inciting hatred. But I'd go further and say that hatred is potentially being incited by companies such as the one in Lesotho.
They
could employ a ton of people as they brag real human beings, and they will type what they're told. If you type hate Israel, hate Israel, hate Israel, that is what they will type to earn their coin.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I mean,
outlawed.
I mean, no one's got anything against. I mean, I'll be honest with you. No one. I mean, I think that if people are pro-Palestine, let them do it. They can fly the Palestinian flag. They're allowed to. I mean, that's democracy. But whenever you're seeing people within those ranks holding the ISIS flags and all, and chanting jihad, then there's no place in society for that. There shouldn't be. You know, there shouldn't be. It's nasty.
Well, don't forget, a lot of Palestinian people are not in favour of what's just happened.
Yeah.
And they do want to live in peace. I mean, I've had people. I mean, I don't know the solution. I'm not an expert on the situation, but I've spoken to a lot of Palestinians who said that they'd be quite happy to live in Israel as an Israeli Palestinian. You know, if the West Bank and Gaza became Israel, they're quite happy to live in peace and go to the mosque and get a job and do all the things. They're not interested in killing people, not at all. But then you've also got the factions within the Palestinian that want to kill people. And then you've got the people who are afraid of the Hamas. Yeah. And that they're not really supporters of Hamas, but they're afraid, and so they go along with it as well. So it's a very complicated situation.
I do hope
there's
the
no
innocent
easy solution.
civilians in Palestine can get to something safe.
It's shocking, isn't it? I mean,
it's so difficult.
I mean, at the minute, the world's all pro-Israel, and you know what? I'm going to be honest.
Well, yes, because
I'm not 100% pro-Israel. I mean, as you just said there, you know, there's innocent Palestinians being killed.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely right there with you. I don't want any innocent people to die.
And actually, those innocent Palestinians, you would think that all the countries, all the Arab states, everybody could do as much as they can to airlift them out of there. Get them out of there. Israel would give time. If, say, Egypt said, give us a week, we're going to send helicopters in, we'll take them out. Israel,
they've got to have somewhere to go.
Yes.
They've got to have somewhere to go. And
Arab countries don't want them. And that's quite apparent. We've seen it.
That's the truth of the matter, really, isn't it?
The weird thing here is the only place that will take these people in are the West, and which I find strange because they are hell-bent in destroying Western culture. They're hell-bent. I mean...
Well, not all of them, but certainly some of them are.
Actually, if you look on YouTube at videos of Iran in the 1960s...
Oh, yeah, look brilliant.
Women, mini-skirts, just might as well have been on the beach in Spain. Now, look at Iran.
Trevor, there are... To my information, I might be incorrect, but to the best of my knowledge, there are 22 Arab states. Right? There's one Jewish state. And they all want to just push the Jewish state. Why is the Jewish state not allowed to exist? That's what
Benji said. He phoned me up. He said, TikTokers, big TikTokers are saying Israel, it was an unprovoked attack.
Of course it was.
And I said, no, that Israel attacked Palestine unprovoked. That's what big TikTokers are saying. TikTokers with millions of followers who are probably bought from places like Lesotho. And both my kids phoned me up and said, "Is that true?" And I said, "No, that's bullshit. Israel was attacked by Hamas."
There's propaganda.
The country and said, "Israel's fucking tiny. What's the problem? Why do they want Israel? It's tiny." And I said, "Exactly."
I see. Come on. I mean, Israel and Palestine, right from the beginning of time, have wanted to kill each other, and the West have basically let them get on with it for too long. We've turned a blind eye to genocide on both sides here, which is going on all the time. And the West has turned it, sort of went and ignored it for so long, until it's got to the stage where, in a time now, because 20 years ago we didn't have Twitter, we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have this technology. So now it's in our face. We can't escape it. So maybe we're having to face this full on now, because we are now seeing it when we wake up and we look at our phone. It's there. So and Israel and Palestine, they're both very good at propaganda. They're both good at it, and it's now thrust into your face. It's now right center stage. So the West has to do something, but I don't think the West should back either side. I don't think that's the way to do it. I don't think you back one side and ignore the other. We need to stop it on both sides. And the only way to do that, in my opinion, is to send in a new type of international peacekeeping force. And I don't mean UN. They're outdated. They're outdated, a pile of shit. We need to send in an international force to actually stop it. And when I say international force, there's never, ever been an international force which had China, the US, the British, French, German, an international force which has everyone in it, because before, an international force has always been the West against the East, and that's not how you do it. So unless you start to work with other nations, which we've never done before, you're not going to be able to stop that. Can you imagine if you sent in an international force, Graham, into there to keep the peace, which had Chinese soldiers working with the US and working with the West? Do you know what? Either side would be shit scared to get involved in a contact with those countries.
I don't know. But I think the state of Israel should be allowed to exist. I really do. I'm on their side, because there's only one Israeli state. There's only one Jewish state. And there's 22 Arab states, and they don't even have any oil.
Tara has asked, Israel have been keeping children hostage for decades. Google how many Palestinian children are in Israeli jail. I dare you. How do you know that the results on Google are not?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
How do you know that? This is the problem. When people talk of misinformation and disinformation, sometimes it can be a blatant lie, absolute blatant lie.
It can for sure.
I mean, during the run-up of the Brexit referendum, I tried to bring the subject up, but Dominic Cummings had several GoDaddy websites, and he put fake stories on. He got actors who look like Muslims. I know, because I did research into this, and I found the stories were either fake or they were stories from Greece. And he purported they had just happened in London to alienate Muslims. It was a total fucking lie. I reported him to abuse at GoDaddy, and they went, "That's not a problem." But then again, Twitter told me that 500 death threats on Twitter was not a problem, and flying a hitman out. So, I don't believe Israel are locking up Palestinian children. I'll put myself out there now and say that I call bullshit on that. If there is a website out there on a Google search saying that, I call bullshit on it. And you can send me a link. Please don't email me, for God's sake. But send a link in the comments and I'll go and check it out. And if I find it is bullshit, I will rip it to fucking pieces on a live. Because I think Hamas's PR is horribly unsophisticated. It might be dollops of shit an audience 20 years ago would have bought, lapped up like kittens, but not today.
Yeah. I mean, my own son, not Ben, his older brother, he got sucked into all this Palestinian stuff. He had a Palestinian flag.
That's how he's ended up in prison, I think.
He had a YouTube channel, and he was talking and sticking up for the Palestinians and coming out with all this bollocks.
Yeah. You want another one?
Yes, please. And he got 4 years in jail.
Wow. Yeah.
Anti-Semitism.
Mary's just said there. Mary, I'm going to be honest with you. No one's denying this. I mean, it's quite clear that innocent Palestinians have been killed and innocent Israelis have been killed.
Yes.
No one. I'm not on any team. I'm not Team Israel or Team Palestine. I think it's just completely. I think it's shocking what's happening, and I think the West need to stop sort of try and move towards peace talks rather than back aside.
Yeah.
It's just shocking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want anybody to get killed. Anyone who's innocent.
No one does. I mean, it's
I differ from you there because I'm on the side of Israel on this. I think they do have the right to exist and they do have the right to protect themselves.
Yes, but Graham, I get that. I'm not arguing that. Listen, they do have the right to protect themselves. They do have the right to exist, but they're doing exactly what the Palestinians done to them. I mean, two wrongs don't make a right, mate. You can't just go and fire missiles and destroy people because they did it.
You know, the tit for tat thing in Northern Ireland happened, you know, and it was was going nowhere. All that was happening was people were getting killed.
Exactly, mate. I mean, I think Israel have the right to defend themselves. Of course they do. No one's denying that. But you know, to keep firing missiles, to keep going in with tanks, you know, innocent people are being killed, and I think that look what Israel's done in the last 2 days. I mean, they got confused and they decided to blow up an Egyptian border post. They also fired 2 airstrikes into Syria by mistake. I mean, come on. I mean, this is about to be the best intelligence in the world, Israel.
I know. But look, we've all been guilty of friendly fire incidents, haven't we? I mean, the Americans blew up a British armoured vehicle, didn't they, in Kuwait? Was it Kuwait? Was it the first Gulf War or the second Gulf War? I mean, that was a pure accident. It wasn't intentional.
There's been quite a few things, but, you know, whenever they sent up jets, Israel did, and they fired missiles into Syria, over the border into Syria, in an airfield, I mean, they didn't do it once, they did it twice. I think that's a deliberate target that they did there. Maybe it was for their own benefit, but at the end of the day, Israel can't expect people to love them if they're shooting things in Egypt and firing missiles into Syria. You know, come on. I mean, get a grip, Israel.
You got.
They keep making mistakes, and I think at the minute they're panicking, Graham. I think at the minute Israel are panicking and they're just heading out. When I think they really need to take a step back and let's look at the options here.
I actually, sorry to interrupt. I agree with you, Trevor, that an international peacekeeping force, and I'd go further than that, because apparently a lot of money has been given to Hamas to build infrastructure for the good of the Palestinian people, and clearly they're incapable or negligent. So I think that the international peacekeeping force could have a treasury, and they go, right, we're going to build a hospital here, we're going to build a school there. And for the international community to build Palestine up.
We've seen the same thing in Africa where they've given loads of money to an African country.
Yeah.
Some president stolen it and built a palace.
I mean, your situation, Northern Ireland, the Good Friday Agreement, they've basically thrown a ton of money at the situation unless I've greatly misunderstood. And that's helped to keep the Good Friday Agreement going, hasn't it?
There was 2 Good Friday Agreements, and that's what the problem is. So basically, I remember the book. We got a book through Oliver Door. It was like a book. You read it. It was a Good Friday Agreement, and that's what the people were given.
Yes.
But that's not what was signed, because in that Good Friday Agreement, which we all read, and we went, "Oh, we all agree with this. This is lovely." Behind closed doors, you had Jerry Adams, Mark McGuinness, Peter Robinson, and different other people signing agreements away. None of us knew that we were about to let out every single murderer and killer out of prison. Or to get a jail-free pass. None of us knew that. None of us knew that terrorists that had killed people in Northern Ireland, which were absconded all over the world and hiding, were able to come back to the country. None of us knew that the Good Friday Agreement resulted in 25 to 30 years' time, British soldiers that served in Operation Banner can start to be prosecuted, but no one can touch the terrorists. So we were sold this false sort of great golden book, and it turned out to be a lie. So, and all it was is there was also an agreement signed, which we will never find out about, there was a 100-year agreement signed, which meant the Good Friday Agreement that was signed back then. We're not allowed to know what was in it for 100 years. So by the time we're all dead, my son will be able to see it. It's all underhandness. And
but has it been worth it for? Because do you remember before the GFA? Do you remember any of the troubles personally?
I remember. I was a young lad.
Sorry.
Sorry. I was a young boy at the time, but I remember coming out the front of my house on certain days and having a football with my mates on the green, and I would hear a bang, and I would look in the distance, like 6 or 7 miles away, and then I'd see the big puff. I'd see a puff of smoke, and I'd hear a bang. So I could hear and see the bombs going off in Belfast. But
did it scare you as a child?
No, I was miles away. No, it didn't. No, it didn't scare me.
Really? Because it scared me. I remember the troubles in England, and because I lived in Lewes, my dad worked at the Crown Court, and he did a lot of cathedral services. And in Lewes we quite often had mortar bombs dropped in bins, and they just open up like a flower. And if a bang went off, Bobby Sands and his friends were in jail and all that. My dad was having to do the Chichester Cathedral service. And he said, if Bobby Sands dies before or around that time, we've got a lot of people in that cathedral. And every time there was a bang, and in Lewes, the bonfire night, a bang, 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 and we were never sure. In fact, even now, the other night when we had machine gun fire, I was like, that, God. And it takes me right back, or being on the underground in London, and frequently they'd say, evacuate. Someone found a bag, evacuate. Well, so in England, it was quite scary, actually, the troubles.
I know a little bit about the hunger strike in the prisons, and that was because my dad worked in the prisons in the hunger strike, and he knew.
Of course, yes. I forgot that.
So they went through the hunger strike, and they refused to put on the uniform. They wanted to wear their own civilian clothes. They ended up getting what they wanted, but they went through a campaign known as the shit campaign. The dirty campaign, it was called, and they started to rub their own excrement in the cell.
Yes, I remember.
Right. Anyway, what would happen is they would be moved to another cell. The prison officers would come in, wearing all the protective gear, and they would clean the cells. But this went on and on and on and on and on.
It did seem to go on forever, didn't it?
So do you know how they fixed it?
They hosed them, didn't they?
No. Back in those days, prison officers and the RUC did not take, this sounds weird, they didn't take shit from anyone. So this is what they did. You're having prison officers go into work to look after these people, and they were rubbing their own shit all over the walls and all this here in the food. And the prison officers were having to wear respirators. It was disgusting. So what they did was this. They spoke to the boss and says, are you going to stop doing this? And they went, no. So rather, now bear in mind, these guys were on hunger strike.
Yes.
So here's how you sorted it. You took prisoner A and you put him in prisoner B's room. So you swapped them all around. So then you started putting prisoners in other people's cells.
Right.
See, whenever they were breathing in other people's shit, they stopped doing it because they were losing more weight. They were losing more weight and being sick and losing more weight.
They all died in the end, weren't there? There were 3 of them.
I remember Bobby Sands. He was
quite a few of them. I mean,
I remember the famous photographs. They did hose Bobby, definitely, because there was the photograph of him naked, like that, and you could see the shit on all of the walls. And they did advertise that's what they were doing.
There was a priest. These are true stories. I've spoke to many of the guys that worked there, but there was a priest coming in one day into it was a Crumlin Road jail, coming into Crumlin Road jail to speak to the hunger strikers, and he got stopped and searched. And one of the prison officers said to the priest, "Why are you carrying a pencil case? Is that one of the guys' coffins?"
Oh right, okay, yeah. No, well, they were getting quite skinny, of course. Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be fair,
my point was, if they were to throw money at Palestine, I mean, has money been invested in Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland in order to make life better from whoever, you know, whether it's from the EU, the UK, wherever,
Well,
America, maybe. Have you seen investment in that area?
There's been no investment in the Republic of Ireland, and that's because there was no bombs in Republic of Ireland. Republic of Ireland suffered zero, basically. Belfast and around there suffered massively. Belfast is a beautiful city once again, though. I mean, I went home a while ago there, not that long ago, and I went to visit places which I would never have been. They were out of bounds to me for about 20 years, and I went to see them. Belfast is thriving. There used to be a time in Belfast where there was out of bounds areas where Protestants wouldn't go and Catholics wouldn't go, but now it's just a mixture, and it's a beautiful city now. I mean, there's been so much investment; it's stunning. It really is.
So and the other thing is we've got a place in Spain, the Basque. You might be aware. I mean, they were friendly with the IRA, the ETA. And again,
it's on the French border, north of Spain.
Yeah, they speak a totally, not only speak a totally different language to Spanish.
Yeah, they were terrorists.
When you drive through Basque, the signs are like Greek or Russian or something. And it sounds different.
Yeah.
And I was actually in jail with quite a few of the top ETA terrorists. There was an ETA table at the dinner hall, and then there was us expats at the next table. And they had a lot of money and investment, and we don't hear any problems about ETA or Basque now.
I don't. Yeah.
It's finished.
Going back 20 years.
So that's why I'm thinking money in the situation, but the money must be in the hands of someone responsible. And I think it's this idea of yours, rather than the UN, to have a peacekeeping force like Iron Fist, Velvet Glove.
That's what the UN was set up for, wasn't it? And it didn't sort of.
Yeah, I mean, the UN. I personally believe the UN and NATO are outdated, and we need something new. And the fact is, the reason why NATO's outdated is because the UK has really stopped investing. I know Donald Trump stopped investing US into it, but a lot of money stopped being invested into NATO. Because
I do appreciate why Donald did that, though, because he was saying America was paying in a lot more than everyone else and getting fuck all out of it. And it was a piss take. It was a piss take. You all right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Excuse me, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, America was paying more than anyone else, but they've got bigger GDP than everyone. So whenever they were paying into NATO, what Donald Trump, I got his method behind why he wanted to pull out of it. But NATO was there looking after all these breakaway countries in Europe and the Balkans and Russia. So NATO's been there. And the whole design of NATO was to keep people safe, which meant the US didn't have to bring its mighty machine across because it was investing in this. But then what happened over the years since the Second World War was that the US kept investing into NATO, and they were going, and for some reason they kept thinking, we're getting nothing out of it. We're getting nothing out of it. Why are we doing this? Right. Well, the reason why you're doing it is so you don't have to bring over everything. But then America got a little bit greedy, and America started building a base here, and a base here, and a base here, and a base here. And America started putting its mighty military bases all around NATO, which then made NATO basically useless. So America, with its greed, actually put, I mean, how many is there? Like 116 US bases across the world. Russia has like 13, and yet Russia's the aggressor. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I think the greed from America and the oil, they're always near oil and resources and wealth and money and gold and silver and lithium. They've got bases everywhere, and that's the issue. That's the issue, and that's why NATO has become redundant, basically. So, if everyone stops investing into NATO and say we don't need NATO, well then countries need to grow a backbone and say, no, you're not putting your base in our country. Go. And when that happens, I think things will start to change. At the minute, everyone's so scared of the mighty military armor that they just let them do it.
This is why I thought the UN was a great idea. I mean, it's not working as well as it should. But if you go back to the Suez Crisis, 1955, was it, something like that? The British and the French were kicked out of Egypt. And we looked at each other and thought, oh, cheeky bastards, we're going to go back into Egypt, we're going to take the canal back. Because we built it, or I can't remember who built it, but I mean, it was a British thing, wasn't it? So we sent troops in and we landed in Egypt and they all ran off. No, it wasn't even resisted the attack. And we seized the Suez Canal and took back control of the Suez Canal from the Egyptian government. The Egyptians just went straight to the UN and went, look what the British and the French have just done. And the British...
We caused this, Graham. Graham, the British, I mean, I know I've just had a go at America there. I've just said America's greed has caused this, but Britain's greed as well has caused a lot of shit. I mean...
everybody's greedy at
we've all been greedy. I mean, the British like to get involved in everything because we want resources. We're like America, but smaller. We want resources. I mean, whoever sticks with Ukraine and sees it through to the end will end up with all those massive construction contracts, you know.
Well, so that's another point. But the point I was making was the Egyptians complained to the UN. The UN made a resolution. They turned around to the British and the French and they said, you must get out of Suez. And that's the reason we left. Because the UN said so. Now, if the UN's in charge, right, and they have because they've got representatives from all nations in the UN. You've got somewhere like the Ukraine, right, and Russia's just moved into the Ukraine. They've got every right to complain to the UN and say, look, what's just happened? And then they have a resolution and they have a talk about it and they say, whoa, and they make a resolution. And they either tell Russia to withdraw or they negotiate. It's like going to the police, isn't it? You go to the police and you say, look, this is my problem. This is the problem I've got. Look, they've done this, and then let's hear both sides, and then it might finish up going to court. But that's what the UN is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a court who overlooks everything, and they've got all the power in the fucking world because they've got every nation is a member. And if the people don't abide by the verdict, then the UN has got the power to force them to get out. And we weren't forced to get out. We were told to get out, and we did. We withdrew from Suez. But I mean, this is where the Ukraine war should have gone. Instead of, I mean, you've got every right to fight people who are invading your country. Of course you have. But the other alternative, I mean, look at Austria when the Nazis invaded. There was not a shot fired. Now, if the Ukrainians, which they didn't do, they fought back. But if they'd have let the Russians in and not fired a shot, they could have complained to the United Nations. If the United Nations were any good, they could have negotiated with all sides and come up with a resolution. And hopefully, because Russia's a part of the UN, they're part of it. But and Graham, the UN would have made a decision, and they would have, and all these people would still be alive.
Graham, no one takes them. The UN's dead. The UN's dead, mate. No one takes UN. Well, no one takes the UN seriously anymore. No one does.
This is the point. Yeah, that's the point I'm making. It's a great idea, though, if it worked.
It would have been, yeah. I mean, but the UN, I mean, Jesus, I mean, Bosch in 1993, I mean, I don't understand a United Nations, right, that wears this little blue beret, little blue helmet cover, and stands and just takes notes and watches people shoot each other and go, yep.
Bosnia, yeah.
I find that's a pointless, that's a pointless force, a force that goes in and stays in their tanks, all painted white with UN in black, and just watches genocide and children being killed.
You've got to think of them as policemen. The UN has got to be the policeman of the world. They've got to do it in the name of everyone in the world.
That's dangerous, because then what if you get someone in charge, they start doing shit nobody likes? That's a globalist. A globalist thing, isn't it? And
Trevor will tell you, right? He's probably been to Aldershot and Catterick and places like that. You know, you get big fights in the street with squaddies, and they're all drunk.
Yes,
right?
But when
they're all brawling, the cops can't just stand there and go, stop.
The problem.
Stop, oi, break it up.
The problem.
Got to get stuck in and break it up.
The problem with having a global police is different parts of the world have different climates, different problems, different political issues. And if you have a blanket policy, this is why people don't
they
like
answer to everyone.
This is why people don't like blanket policy and the idea of a globalist government, a world order, because it doesn't work.
It's not a globalist government. It's a globalist sort of police force.
That's a terrible idea. Who thinks that's a terrible idea? Global police.
Well, who do you to the country invaded?
Well,
you've got to have someone. You can't. It's.
I think that's a terrible idea, Graham.
I don't. I think it's a great idea if it worked.
I think that putting money. I mean, the European Union, and a lot of people are critical, but what Putin really hates about the EU is that not a single bullet has been fired while they have invaded his country. They've basically bought places like Latvia, Estonia. They've been encroaching into basically Russia by buying it, by investing money. It's hugely successful.
Loads of money into it. Yeah.
It is a hugely successful invasion, a peaceful invasion.
I don't see it as an invasion.
But that's how Putin sees it.
Well, only because
he's like, where's this going to stop?
Only because he hasn't applied to join.
It's a good job Graham doesn't run the fucking world.
Russia's in
charge of the global police.
EU,
My God, can you imagine Graham in charge of the global police?
Come on, they're entitled to join the EU if they wanted to.
Russia join the EU?
Why not?
I hope Putin's watching this live.
They're entitled
You're going to be in trouble. He's going to say, you are in trouble.
You're in trouble. No, what he is, he's entitled. He's a huge, big, powerful country and goes beyond the EU. But we were getting gas off them, we were getting all kinds of them. It's a massive economy. I mean, what the Russians are more scared of is getting invaded again.
Thank you, Foxy. And Suez was 1956, according to Foxy.
Terrible idea indeed. Yeah.
And Shaz said, I don't know if Shaz said
I'm
they
an idiot.
were there, or husband, was it Graham Common?
Oh. Well, listen, guys, nearly 10 o'clock, and I'm on my own tonight, so I'm going to have an early night. Graham,
thank you very, very much.
Thanks for coming on, sir. Much appreciated.
It's been fascinating. I mean, we've never chatted like this offline, have we? It's incredible.
I have never been so stunned with Graham in one sitting in my life.
Have I horrified you that much?
They should send you and Graham to sort it all out in Palestine. Fuck me, if World War III hasn't already started.
Do you know what would happen if me and Graham were sent to sort it out? We would end up getting pissed and forgetting all about it.
You'd both be killed by the Mossad.
My sergeant in the army said, you are a fucking hippie with a machine gun.
Yes, they actually, no, it was the guy who worked at MI6 who called you a hippie with a machine gun. It was your commanding officer who said you need to be questioned closely to obtain
unhealthy interest in firearms, he said.
Well,
so
listen, guys,
I
am going to shoot on. What I will end on is we all agreed on it anyway. Listen, I know there's people on there tonight that are pro-Palestine and pro-this, and the fact is, nobody likes terrorism. I mean, innocent Palestinians, innocent Israelis being killed just because people are arseholes and people can't compromise. I just hope it ends soon.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to see anyone die, that's for sure.
I know. Well, listen, enjoy your evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it's been absolutely awesome.
Epic. Thanks,
Take care.
Catch you tomorrow night.
Good night. Right, everybody, I think we are probably going to go to bed now.
Well, that went on for an hour.
Before we completely obliterate the world. And isn't it ironic that Christopher Boozy seems to be in agreement with a lot of us? And yeah, a lot of people don't like the idea of a global police. What was that, Blake 7? Anyone remember the UK TV show, Blake 7? The woman with the very short black hair.
Servalan.
She had Servalan. She had a interplanetary police. What about Darth Vader? Oh, you're a Darth Vader.
No. The whole purpose of the UN is that every country is represented and they all have a vote, isn't it? So they're not going behind anyone's back, backstabbing anyone.
Exactly, or who controls the government world order.
It's obviously not working. I mean, lots of people have said a world order is not a good idea.
Anyway, Graham had an argument
exactly
with a load of lady lesbians a few years ago.
Did I?
Yes.
Remind me.
Because they were at Green and Common, they were women.
Oh.
And these lesbian, I think they were on the dolphin boat, and they said we were at Green and Common, and he said I was there too, and they said you're lying, you're a man, and he said I was in the army.
It's true.
Because the soldiers dragged the women away.
There was this vicar, not vicar. He was
going to get a top up.
I can't remember his name. It'll come to me.
I'm too fat to squeeze a big little tiny gap like that. Yes,
anyway,
so
Green and Common was this massive airbase in the UK.
American.
No, it's British, but it was I think the Americans were there for sure.
Nuclear weapons.
It's got this enormous long runway, and I think they had B-52s there and things, and there's all bunkers and they were full of nuclear missiles and bombs and things, and all these lesbians descended on the base, and
you might find a few people who are watching were there as well.
CND, and honestly, nobody wants to get nuked, okay? So I've got a little bit of sympathy there. But these people were like, they camped out for goodness knows how long, and we had to sort of defend the perimeter of the base. What was his name? Oh, it was a Catholic cardinal. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. Anyway, the thing, every now and then they just come along with snips and they just start cutting, because there was just a fence around the base. They start cutting holes in the fence, and once they start cutting holes in the fence, they could be arrested and or gassed. And what was that guy's name? I can't think of his name.
Doesn't matter, just tell the story.
Monsignor Bruce Kemp or something like that. Yeah, and they'd attack, and we'd have to be there defending the base. And they'd attack and cut holes in the fence. They just all run in. I don't know what they attempted to achieve. What they're going to sit on a B-52 or something. I don't know. But once you broke into Crown property, that was it. You could grab them and arrest them and take them to the guard room and then hand them over to the civilian police, and then they just let them go. And they'd go back to their campsite, and people used to attack their campsite in the night. I don't know who it was. It wasn't me. I didn't participate in that, but people did, and like tear all the tents down and thump people and things. It got really nasty at times. It was. So yeah, all these women said, "I was at Green and Common. We were all there." Oh, were you? Yeah. So anyway, last time I went to Green and Common, there was nothing there. The place was empty, completely deserted. Yeah. Well, I do get on being nuked is not good,
The fear, of course, was that if America took nuclear action,
then they'd retaliate.
They'd retaliate by bombing Green and Common, which had nuclear weapons in it, and that the UK would pay the ultimate price. But I thought it was quite funny. I'm sure it was at Dolphin Safari, and these two or three women were all going, "Oh, I was at Green and Common. Oh, I was at Green and Common." And you piped up and went, "I was at Green and Common." They went, "Fuck off, you're a man." And he went, "I was in the army." And their faces, because they hated the army. They hated the army.
Monsignor Bruce Kemp, I'm sure that was his name. And he came along, he was making, there was all the cameras around him at the time, and it is because he supported CND, he wanted to come up to the fence and cut the fence, and the minute you start cutting the fence, you can get nicked. And he was crying, he was like this. And he had to hold his breath, and he made one snip, and that was going to took him away.
Was it the police that arrested him, or was it the soldiers?
I wasn't there. I wasn't
Did you
there.
have any run-ins at Greenham Common personally?
Well, yeah.
Anything you're willing to talk about online?
Nothing. We didn't do anything. We just apprehended people and took them to the guardrail.
Didn't you feel awkward handling women?
Well,
Like, civilian women, didn't you feel like uncomfortable?
no, most of them just came. They knew they were going to get nicked.
Right.
If they went through, cut a hole in an airfield with nuclear weapons and things, cut a hole in the fence and go in. You know the guards are going to get you. And most of them they didn't care. We didn't have any nastiness. No.
I've just remembered something actually. Are you talking about that? I was out driving in the middle of the night, like 2, 3 in the morning with a friend near a place in Sussex called Camber Sands. And there's this place that you drive past that's got a very, very long fence, like razor wire fence. It's some kind of military base, nuclear base. I don't know. Yes.
Oh,
and you drive along this morning, and I was with a friend. We were in a dodgy old Capri, driving in the fog, so it was like spooky. And all of a sudden, we came across a hole in the fence, and not only was there a hole, there was about 4 people wearing not only hazmat suits, they were yellow suits with square heads, like a window, like a fucking TV screen, and air things. Like they'd gone on the moon or something. And I slowed down in the car, and there's a big hole, and they had Geiger counters, and they're all. And then they all looked at us and pointed their Geiger counters at us. We were in our dodgy old yellow Capri. You know, I bought it for £20, and it went for 2 weeks before it blew up. And my mate Thomas, he went, just drive, get the fuck out of here. I don't know what the hell that was about. It was like something out of The Simpsons. I just remembered that. Oh,
Dead ranges down there. Oh wow.
KPWHU.
£20. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's extremely kind. Well, that goes to Graham. I often emphasise I don't accept or send money over the internet to anybody, but Graham does, and that's up to you, mate.
It goes to Lady Faith.
So anyway,
no, those ranges they have all villages and things.
What is that military base that lived then? You must know of it because you used to fly and used to fly to the airport.
Yeah.
So it must be on an FIR, when you're filing an FIR bound thing.
No, it's an FIR bound.
You must have seen it on the aviation maps.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's gun range, it's firing range, and they do exercises there.
It's military.
Fish, it's called fighting in someone's house.
You're
going from, there's all buildings, but there's no windows, there's no doors. You just sort of jump in and out of rooms and fire blanks at everybody.
Why would they have Geiger counters? Because I swear to God they were.
Must have been some sort of NBC exercise, which would be nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons.
Fuck off, man. There was a hole cut in the fence.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
I don't. It must have
And
been
have you
exercise.
ever seen these yellow suits with
No,
like
we
a
never did
cardboard?
that. We had NBC
Well,
suits. We had NBC suits, like a green thing you put over your.
I've just remembered
uniform.
something else. There's a tunnel in Brighton on the A27. It's been a big bone of contention for many years. And when you drive through this tunnel, there's a doorway and it goes into a hill in a field. And the Argus newspaper in Brighton, quite frequently, they close the A27 and they say, oh, there's been a pile-up. But you see the comments on the Argus and they say, there's no pile-up. I live there. It's near Port Slade. And they say, police are there. I bet they're going in the tunnel. And another thing, Graham's mother lived in St Albans Road in Port Slade.
Yeah.
His best friend, who he was in the army with, set up a security, he fits alarms. And there was a little shed next door to your mother's house, right? There
was.
And John got the security job. He said, all I've got to do is go in this shed and check the alarm. He said, I didn't fit the alarm, but it's just one of these maintenance things. And he said there was a hatch in the floor and it was like calling him. So he opened the hatch And he went down, and all lights came on automatically down a tunnel.
Going under everyone's garden.
And he said, I swear to God, Graham, it goes under your mother's house. It goes right. He said, it goes so far, I can't see. And he said, it goes to some sort of nuclear bunker, I'm sure.
Foxy, check this out, mate.
Yeah, Foxy, go and have a look.
Foxy, because
the green shed at the end of the road of
St Albans Road is a one-way street, right? It goes from Boundary Road. So if you go all the way down Boundary Road, not Boundary Road, St Albans Road, to the end. My mother used to live on the left, number 44, which was second to the end.
That's all right.
Then you go round the corner to is it Norway Street?
Yes.
I think it might be Norway Street.
And it was the old school.
Go round the corner, right, to the back of the house, and there's a building there until you get, and then there's twins up the back of the houses.
Yeah.
Until you get to St Andrews Road. But that building there, that's the building we're talking about. And he said, I've never been in, but he said there's this hatch in the floor.
What was weird was he said it was really, well, he just said it was really clean, and he said he went down the ladder just to be nosy, and because he'd been in the army like Graham, he just recognised concrete structure, very neat, tidy. He said it's been maintained, and obviously he had a sophisticated alarm that had rung alarm bells with him. And he said when he went down the ladder, the lights came on automatically like a sensor. And this would have been 2005-ish.
I used to fix cars, and there was, and there's like a little bit of a path in front of the building, and I popped the car on there because no one ever came to this building. We never saw anyone come or go from this building.
No.
It backed onto my mother's back garden.
Yeah.
44. So I thought, well, I'll stick this car on a path because I was fixing it for some reason. I don't know. We were doing a clutch on it or something, I can't remember. So there we were, and then if someone turned up and went, oh, you could have asked. Ah. And I looked at him and thought, asked who? Who are you? Anyway, he didn't care, and he disappeared. He came and went.
Well, they don't want to draw attention to places.
And yeah. Weird.
And I said to John, why didn't you go down the tunnel? Let's go and have a look. And he instinctively went, no.
Anyway, yeah, Foxy, all you got to do is click on the link. That's all you got to do, mate. And normally,
I'd forgotten all about that.
If your camera is set up and you're there, should we try it one more time, Foxy? Do you want to try it one more time before we go?
I think we're probably going to wrap it up now. I can't wait for the rest of the clocks to arrive. I think I got an absolute bargain
I
with
just
them.
wanted to talk to Foxy about this particular thing because he's the man to check
I tell you
it out.
what, Foxy, I am really into nuclear bunkers.
Southwick Tunnel.
The A27. It's like the tunnel goes through a hill, and there's a door, and there's no pathway there. The only way a pedestrian could get to that door is if the police close the road, and the police close. Any of you can Google it. A27 secret tunnel, and if you go on the archives of the Brighton Argus, they are persistently going on about it, and loads of people who live in Portslade and Brighton and Hove say there's been no accident, there's no reason to close the motorway. They're definitely doing something in that tunnel. And you know what? I've driven, because I used to live in Hove and go and see you at Shoreham Airport. I went through that tunnel all the time. Yeah. And quite frequently, when I was going to the airport, there'd be no traffic the other side, and the police had cordoned it off. And I often wondered why. So it's a mystery. I love the idea of nuclear.
We reckon there's some sort of
I love it. Or, Cold War history and stuff.
In that area.
Foxy.
He said no thanks, he'll try it another time.
He's just said something. Tunnel goes through a hill, okay? I will certainly look this up. Yes, definitely do. And we could do a whole live about it.
Been through it many times.
That would be awesome. I think it's probably bedtime.
Probably time to go, yes.
Thank you all very much for joining us tonight. It wouldn't be the same without you. It's been awesome. I'm sorry we haven't had much of a chance to highlight all of the comments and get to chat to you. But as we get towards Halloween, we'll be doing live spooky stuff. And
spookiness, yeah.
Then, of course, Christmas lives. I think we'll probably do what we did
Christmas
last year.
lives
So
again.
nobody needs to be alone at Christmas.
No, we'll do that again this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And as Wally once said, you don't have to be alone at Christmas, even if there's a fly in the room. I remember her doing the video. Even if there's a fly in the room, you and the fly can have Christmas together. I just loved that. Oh, I miss her so much.
She'll be in
I
touch
hope
with you
she's
again.
all right.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And may your God go with you.
And sugars, stay angry.
Yeah, stay real.